Water, only water. Water, only water. Where they see ma. Water, 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 water.
Water, only water. Where they see ma.
Hapa o naido. Hapa o naido. Hapa you don't come o. Hapa o naido. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù yé o. Ilé sọ́dí àkẹ́kẹ́ rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù rè o. Bobby master kẹ̀kẹ́ rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù rè o. Chifu wáìlà tí kẹ̀kẹ́ rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù rè o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù dé. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù dòde ojàre o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́dì o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Olúyẹ̀lá ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosoname ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosodunke ẹyẹ rẹ̀ ó dilé o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀. Ikú kò ní ríwà gbéṣe o.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday to you all. I'm here again this Sunday to come and chat with you guys on different topics, different life issues. So the first story that we're going to go with this morning is about adults refusing blood transfusion for their ward on religious grounds. So we want to know what's your own, what do you believe that must happen to this? What's your own take? So if you can just relax and listen to these videos that we're going to play, then after that, we'll come into the studio to discuss this.
Boy facing death because his parents' religious beliefs prohibit blood transfusions. The couple, devout Jehovah's Witnesses, acknowledge their son needs a liver transplant, but refuse to consent to him receiving blood. As Jenna Hudson reports, they're headed to the Supreme Court.
We understand this is very stressing for you, but how can you deny your son the treatment he needs to survive?
We are talking about the difference between potentially a child dying or surviving.
You could give him the consent to have this blood transfusion. Why won't you? Why can't you?
Parents around the country are right now shocked and angry at the heartbreaking determination of this mum and dad. Their 7-year-old son has a genetic disease that's shutting down his liver, and he will die unless he has a liver transplant. Problem is, mum and dad are devout Jehovah's Witnesses, and they're refusing to give consent to one vital part of the surgery their son so desperately needs.
Is that the risk that you're willing to take?
The blood transfusion their little boy will most certainly need during the operation is completely against their religious beliefs.
For Jehovah's Witnesses, there are essentially no exceptions for the acceptance of blood transfusions.
How can you deny your son, though, of a blood transfusion he so desperately needs?
Please leave me alone.
The Children's Health Queensland Hospital is taking the parents to the Supreme Court in a fight for the little boy's life. In these documents, it states the parents are aware their child will die within 2 years without this treatment. But on the consent form, the father has crossed out the words blood transfusion.
I don't believe that the argument that you can have a transplant without a transfusion is logical, because you still have some residual blood from the donor in the transplanted organ.
Dr. Ross Walker is one of the only Australian medical practitioners who is willing to talk on camera about this sensitive topic.
When we're talking about the life of a child, I think people's own religious beliefs have to stand aside.
This is the little boy's paediatric gastroenterologist. In court documents, she shares her deepest concerns.
Death is an inevitable consequence of liver failure unless a liver transplant is performed. In a small patient, even a relatively small amount of blood can be significant.
All doctors involved in this controversial and delicate case cannot be interviewed because this medical tug of war is still before the Supreme Court.
You can't have the transplant without the transfusion in the vast majority of cases.
A doctor in the court affidavit also states if the boy has the liver transplant with the blood transfusion soon, he has a 90% chance of surviving for another 5 years and a 72% chance of living for more than 25 years. Doctors also say the sicker the little boy gets, the harder it is to carry out the liver transplant at all.
These are very intricate operations and there's quite a deal of blood loss that goes with the operation.
Jehovah's Witnesses believe the Bible commands they must not ingest blood. They say blood represents life and only God is the giver of life. We're told what these parents are fearing is that their child will be polluted, both spiritually and morally.
Really not accepting blood transfusions, perhaps even in a situation where it might be a case of life and death, is essentially considered a small price to pay for eternal life.
University of Queensland Dr. Tom Eckner is a lecturer in history of religious thought.
So these decisions about whether a child will live and die, perhaps regarding accepting a blood transfusion or not accepting, must be viewed in terms of what God would want for that child.
In the eyes of a Jehovah's Witness, how would they view this case?
I think that Jehovah's Witnesses would see this as the government impinging upon very central and foundational beliefs that they have, that they've based their lives upon.
Look, we just wanted to find out, how is your son feeling today?
The boy's parents aren't willing to defend their decision, which could ultimately kill their son.
He could die without a blood transfusion. Is that the risk that you're willing to take?
It's my opinion that religion should have no role in the operating theatre. We're talking about life and death situations as opposed to someone's personal philosophy, especially when you're inflicting that personal philosophy on your child.
Are you willing to sacrifice his life for your religion? Is that what it is?
I said leave me alone.
There are many controversial cases relating to Jehovah's Witness children and blood transfusions. In Sydney this year, a pregnant Jehovah's Witness and her baby tragically died after the woman refused a blood transfusion. Also in New South Wales in 2013, the Supreme Court overruled the wishes of a 17-year-old Jehovah's Witness suffering from a lethal form of blood cancer.
Okay, so Dupsy, that fleshes it out, but this next video now, it gives it more context. So
Okay.
so let's go on to the next one.
Thank you.
She explained it was a complicated surgery and that because I didn't take blood, it would be obviously more serious.
We love life, and in any medical situation, we want treatments that preserve or restore our health. But more important, we want to respect the creator of life and his law on blood.
Beginning in 1998, one of Jehovah's Witnesses, an elder in the United States by the name of R. Jensen, wrote to the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, asking for support on how to respond to questions raised by physicians and insurance adjusters he encountered at his place of employment regarding the position of Jehovah's Witnesses and their refusal to accept blood transfusions. This resulted in a back-and-forth exchange over the next 4 years. The responses from the society reveal how the governing body reasons on this issue, what scriptures they use to support their position, and why they feel it important to enforce a decision, dictating to others what their conscience should or should not allow. Given the seriousness of this issue, it is important for all of Jehovah's Witnesses to know how well-founded this policy is on the Bible. When facing a potentially life-threatening situation, a person should be firmly resolved that he or she is sacrificing his or her life out of obedience to God and not out of loyalty to an organization run by imperfect men. This is the first in a series of videos that will share the actual correspondence between Jensen and the Watchtower Society. Every one of Jehovah's Witnesses should be keenly interested in carefully considering this exchange. It is a matter of life and death. If you would like to read the actual scanned copies of the letters for yourself, please visit my website, preachfromthehousetops.com. I'll place a link in the description. As a preview, here is some information from the Society's website that provides the basic reasons for this policy and how they interpret the Bible to support it.
God first spoke that law to Noah's family. After the flood, God told them that animals could serve as food, but he added, "Only flesh with its life, its blood, you must not eat." Blood represents the life of a creature and should not be misused. God repeated this law to ancient Israel with clear instructions. You must not eat it. You should pour it out on the ground like water. It was the same for early Christians. They received written direction to keep abstaining from blood. Donated whole blood is often separated into its 4 main components: red cells, white cells, platelets, and plasma. We abstain from blood by refusing to accept the transfusion.
All right, so Dupsy, that second clip now, it fleshes out whatever religious justifications are they using for that. So
Yeah,
now this last clip, which is only about 2 minutes, it rounds it off. So
okay.
do
Okay,
you want-
thank you, Woman. Yeah, you
let's
can go ahead. Yeah.
okay.
Blood transfusions? Do Jehovah's Witness children die from refusing blood transfusions? Jehovah's Witnesses have a doctrine of not accepting blood transfusions. This doctrine requires them to refuse a blood transfusion even in life-threatening situations. Sadly, according to some estimates, nearly 900 Jehovah's Witnesses die each year from refusing blood. What about children? Do children die from adherence to this doctrine as well? The Awake magazine of May 22, 1994 stated, "In former times, thousands of youths died for putting God first. They are still doing it today, only the drama is played out in hospitals and courtrooms, with blood transfusions the issue." But then 4 years later, the December 1st, 1998 Watchtower stated, "Jehovah's Witnesses have been targets of false accusations, barefaced lies, and twisted presentations of their beliefs. The accusation that numerous children of Jehovah's Witnesses die each year as a result of refusing blood transfusions is totally unfounded." So the 1998 Watchtower was calling the 1994 Awake magazine a twisted presentation of their beliefs. However, as recently as July 3rd, 2016, governing body member Anthony Morris III gave an example at a convention of a child that died from refusing blood. Clearly, the evidence from the organization itself shows that Jehovah's Witness children do die from refusing blood. To learn more about this subject and others, go to JW.
All right. So Dupsy, that sets the tone. So I mean, pick it up from there. I mean, the height of irresponsibility, as far as if you ask my view.
Yeah. But Woman, what's still disturbing me about this is that they've not even they've not quoted exactly where this is in the Bible. I don't know where they found this exactly, because I know you're from that that side. If you can tell us where this is found in the Bible that you're not allowed to do blood transfusion. I don't know where this is coming from, actually.
Yes, I will struggle to justify it either.
Yeah.
What they are saying is there's a verse in the Bible that says that blood should not be consumed or used in any form, and it should be poured away. So from that, they are extrapolating to. I'm not quite sure that there's any clear biblical justification. I think it's more of a doctrinal line which they have adopted to the cost of human lives. So, I mean, there's a Supreme Court judgment, a case going on in Australia regarding this, and I know that law has been used to push back against this. But if a child dies, especially when the science tells you that this choice, like the example from Australia we just heard, if a child dies, especially when the science tells you that this child has a high probability of surviving if they had blood transfusion. But if that child dies as a result of the parents refusing that transfusion, are we looking at a case of manslaughter even?
I agree totally. That's the case of manslaughter right there. And you know what bothers my mind about all these things is that a man that came like when maybe the least technology wasn't invented will be controlling your life in 2023. Do you understand? Some man that came maybe 1,000 years ago that doesn't even know anything will now be controlling your life. That's, these things bothers me a lot, one man. I don't understand how I can explain it. People should move on. People should move ahead. You're here to use your brain. Even in the holy book that they read. But I understand a lot of arguments is from the what Jehovah Witness Bible is different from the usual Bible the Christians use. I don't know. I don't know that much about that. But a lot of people argue from that point as well, that their own Bible is actually different from the normal Bible. So I don't know who wrote that Bible. But from the history of what we heard from this thing is that the founder of this particular religion is not that mentally balanced, because I heard he slept with different people's wives, their daughters, and everything. That's what is written about this particular man that found this Jehovah Witness. So I don't know if you're a Jehovah Witness that you're hearing us this morning. You can come into the studio to come and defend this religion. I don't know much about it, but that is what I heard. So you can't follow somebody that came even when telephone wasn't invented, when I don't know the list of the technologies, when human brain wasn't at that level. But that is why we are here, for crying out loud, to change humanity, to sustain us, to be able to help each other. And I think that is the main thing that the Christian preach. Love your neighbor as yourself. How do you love your neighbor? You want to improve on how your neighbor is living. You want to make the glory of God come to this earth. That is the way you love God with all your heart, with all your mind. I don't understand it. Maybe I'm interpreting it in a different way, but that is the way I understand it. When they say love your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with everything you have, love your neighbor as yourself. Is it not to improve on humanity? Is it not to, to progress? Is it not to impact on this world that we live in? I don't understand. When we dull down our brain, I cry inside of me that why human beings behaving like this? Even in the Holy Bible, they said, God said, let us make man in our image. And I understand that Christians agree that nobody has seen God before. So how is the image like? So what I believe they're writing there is that let us make man in our image. What is the image? It's the brain. The brain God used to create this heaven and earth. That is, let us make human being in our own image. Or have anybody seen God before? I don't think the Christians are even claiming that they have seen God. But let us make man in our image. I believe it's about the brain. So that is why the technology is forging ahead. They want to make AI, artificial intelligence, because they want to reduce that stress on the human being so that you won't be able to be waking up 8 a.m. or 6 a.m., rushing to work. They want to make sure all this artificial intelligence take over the stressful jobs so that they will be able to preserve human lives. So that is why we have to work with our brain, not with somebody else's. That's why I don't really like people to talk about culture. I don't like you to talk about religion. People that laid down this foundation, they came 1,000 years ago. How can they control my life? I cry when people, when they just go underneath this thing. That they said some people built the Tower of Babel with what? And God decided to change their languages because some people were trying to build that building to go and see God in the heavens. Do you know do you know how the skyscrapers are now? Have you been to Dubai? Have you seen that tallest building in the whole world? It's about human brain. And that is how they categorize it into developed and underdeveloped or developing countries. It's how the human brain has evolved. That is when they categorize a country as a developed country. Then, when the human brain has not reached that stage, they said you are a developing country. It is about human brain. Please let us have a critical mind about things so that we won't be killing each other, especially our children. Let's take it easy and know how to think about these things. Think it through before you join all this called religion. Okay, I can see Simba. Simba, can you come in, please? And let's hear your contribution towards this. Simba, I'm not sure Simba is here. One man.
Yeah, no, Simba is here, but I think it's not able to unmute at the moment.
Okay,
But
one man, do you have your something to say about this?
yeah, no, I agree with a lot of the things that you said. You see, all these religions, especially the Abrahamic ones, as we practice, which is essentially Islam and Christianity. So a lot of these people want to practice those religions as it was written, however many centuries ago. So they want to keep to the template exactly as it was written all those years ago. So I mean, it doesn't. There's no reasoning behind it, of course. Um, if Islam or Christianity came into being today, they would take into cognizance the internet, artificial intelligence, advancement in science, and then wrap whatever religious ethics that they want to wrap around those. So that's how it works. But when somebody stops their foot on a stone, and the next thing is to amputate it, which was the science in those days, and you want to say that that is the science you want to keep with, and that is what is still leading to all these people really refusing blood transfusion. And I still insist that any responsible adult that is responsible for a word, either a child or somebody that is incapacitated to make decisions, if they make the decision not to let that person have blood transfusion, and if as a result that person passes away, I insist that it's a case of manslaughter. But Allah is with us as well.
Okay, Allah, go ahead, please.
Good day, everyone. I hope everyone will come, just click like, and let's just have a very good conversation to help our society, which I believe can clear people from ignorance. As a Christian, I've never seen where Bible says we should refuse blood transfusion. As a matter of fact, blood transfusion is a life-saving process. So if Bible is not against life savings, as a matter of fact, especially if you are believed to be a sinner, God doesn't want you to die and actually wants you to live so that you can be saved. So if someone is going to donate blood for you to be saved, to that alone is a kind of a good act in the sight of God, because when you still want to go by the Moses law, then you start talking about, okay, don't take blood, don't drink blood, don't do whatever. Because if you want to be a Christian, Christians are not supposed to follow the Moses law, because if it is by the work of law, nobody shall be saved. No matter how perfect you are, you will get a particular place that you are going to miss it. So it's a kind of difficult to fulfill those Moses laws. So that's the essence of Christianity. Why Jesus Christ came and redeemed the sinners and gave you the new a new way of life, not the old way. So to me, Jehovah Witness, they claim to be Christians, but when I look at some doctrine, am I truly convinced they are? Maybe I'm not too sure. So to me, there's nothing wrong in the. I've not seen the place in the Bible that Bible says categorically, "Oh, don't take blood," and it is what come out of your mouth. That's what makes you. That's what defines you. That's what makes you a sinner. Before you commit a sin already, you must have thought about it, and not what goes into your mouth. Just eating. Because look at it this way. I even believe that no matter how you slaughter your chicken, your goats, your cattle, I don't think there's a way you can get rid of blood out of those meats. Then, even if just a drop of it, no matter if it's just a milligram, just tiny one that enters your mouth, are you not committing what you don't want to commit? So, if you eat meat, then you can't say you are saying someone should not take blood transfusion. Then to me, I see that on as contrary to that belief. So to me, it's just some kind of doctrine that people over time took to themselves and get themselves enslaved. That's the way I see it. So to me, there's nothing wrong with blood transfusion. And if anybody need blood and I'm in position to donate, I will donate blood. Myself, I've taken blood transfusion before, and I'm a Christian. I do not feel guilty about it. So Christianity, to the best of my knowledge, is not against blood transfusion.
Thank you, Allah. Can we hear from Simba, please? Simba, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening,
Okay. Yeah,
Dipsy.
yeah,
Woman, good evening. Hola, long time.
Yeah, go ahead, Simba.
I agree with you, sir. I
Yeah,
agree with you.
yeah. So, I can only approach this matter from the medical point of view because I think there was a time I had a conversation with a Jehovah Witness on the issues, and they were quoting a part of a Bible for me. What I would have loved this evening is if somebody here can tell us that verse of the Bible that actually in support of their belief. I would have loved somebody to just quote that particular aspect of the Bible and let us examine it before we start this conversation.
I don't think the Christians agree to that because one man was saying that there is a particular verse of the Bible that was actually
yes, because somebody have told me before. Exactly.
Yeah. I think it was misinterpreted by the Jehovah Witness. I don't think there's for the normal. But I'm talking. They have two different Bibles: the Jehovah Witness Bible and the normal Bible that the Christians read. The Jehovah.
Okay. Do you have a Bible with you?
I don't.
No,
I'm not.
I will give you some of the verse they normally refer to, which I think they.
So okay, can we check Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 23?
Okay.
Can somebody check for us?
Okay, I will check for you. Deuteronomy. Verse what?
Verse chapter 12, verse 23.
12:23. Okay.
Maybe we shouldn't get locked into the Bible thing so much because I'm not sure that it's only Jehovah's Witness that refuse blood transfusion. I think it cuts across several religious and ideological belief system. But as a standalone, although we only know really that the Jehovah's Witness push that space the most. But as a standalone, should the responsible adults be allowed to make that decision to refuse blood transfusion for somebody that they have legal authority over? Usually that relationship between an adult and a child or a ward. So really, maybe we shouldn't go too into the Bible.
One man, I agree with you, but it is good too because of people that are
Yeah,
religious.
because if we go into the Bible, then people will
no,
start
people are
throwing
listening to
verses.
us.
We will
No,
start
see,
throwing
That is
verses
what
back and
that is
forth.
what will make the conversation more robust.
exactly. I agree with Simba because I want to say something about that verse that is referring to as well. Because the verse that Simba is referring to say, only be sure that you do not eat the blood, for the blood is the life. You shall not eat the life with the flesh, right? But never consume the blood, for the blood is the life. And you must not consume the live blood with the meat. So, so that's the Simba. So I don't know what you want to bring out of it. Okay.
No, because that was the verse that person quoted for me, and I think because earlier when Lucy was talking, she was talking about misinterpretation of that particular verse. So if we agree that, because from this what you said, but be sure you do not eat the blood, because the blood is the life, and you must not eat the life with the meat. Can we say taking blood transfusion is hitting the blood?
I don't know how they interpreted that, but I don't agree that
Because
eating
let
the
me tell
blood is
you from this, because earlier on when Mama was talking about the two Abrahamic religion in Islam, even when you are fasting, hmm, when you are fasting, you can take injection. You understand? So I'm just looking at it. Okay, this blood is not as if the person is taking it through the mouth. It's actually intravenous transfusion. So can we now interpret it as eating the blood?
That's
That
why I'm
is,
confused too. I don't understand that actually. I don't know why they are using the verse as the basis of what they believe in. So that's why I said their own Bible. If
so,
you
but
ask
if you
them, their
want
own
to,
Bible is different. It's actually different from the usual Bible the Christians use. So that's why I
but
said
this is the normal. This is not a Jehovah. This Bible that in fact, the one I have now is King James version. It's not a Jehovah Witness Bible.
that's what I'm
It's
saying. I said
all.
they have their own
Uh-huh.
Bible. Probably is inside their own Bible. It's actually different. That's what I'm saying. Their own Bible is different
I
from
no
the
no
usual
no no no
Bible.
no. I don't agree with you, Dusin.
No,
With this,
yeah,
I think
that's
the
it.
same verse. The
No,
same verse
that is
is
it. I'm
what
not.
they are
This is not
quoting.
about agreeing. That's the fact. They have their own Bible. That's
I
what.
know they have their own Bible, but
Yeah.
I don't think the verse are different. If you look at it, maybe if you just look at it.
Simba. The thing is this:
Mm,
it's in the Bible, right? Is in the
exactly.
Bible, and whatever Jehovah Witness, whatever they are using to, probably is there too. But the issue is this: sometimes we try to give ourselves the interpretation of Bibles the way we like. Just imagine 8 billion around the world. You start giving your interpretation about the Bible, you can see the kind of confusion that can be. You see, one thing is this: Yoruba will say, if you want to be Oshaka, be Oshaka. If you want to be Oshoko, be Oshoko. Oshaka, Oshoko, you can't be those two because you will end up confusing yourself. Because the thing is, if you claim to be a Christian and the foundation of Christianity is the New Testament, and the purpose of becoming a Christian is to do away with the work of the law. So if you're a Christian and you are still going back to the Moses law, then don't call yourself a Christian. You are just a religious person on your own because Christianity is a way of life. So what we are saying here is this: the same Bible tells you that for letter kill it, for the letter kill it, but the spirit gives life. If you keep following the law, if you keep following the letter of everything in the Bible, you will end up getting yourself confused, because your life is supposed to be simple. Love your God, love your neighbor. As simple as ABC. There's no way you love someone that you don't want to do good. If you don't love someone, you do the person bad. Live your way. Don't violate the law of your country. Follow the law and be at peace. But when you start re-engineering people, oh, this is what you are supposed to do based on your own interpretation, that's where Wahala comes in. It's illegal, it's evil, it's demonic.
All right.
For an adult to even refuse a minor to take blood transfusion. If you really love the person, you will give him what is really to make him survive.
All right. Simba, let's bring Zita and Babati, then Mike into the conversation, so we document everybody's position, and then the conversation can carry on. So Zita, the topic really, adults refusing blood transfusion.
One man, can you give me 10 minutes, please?
All
Let
right.
the next person go. Thank you.
All right, let's bring Babati on then. BT, the topic, your contribution, BT.
Good morning, one man. Good morning, Dupsy, and the rest of the panel.
Good morning to you, Babati.
It's 11:30 in Boston, so well, this is a very interesting topic. From a provider's perspective, because Simba is the pediatrician, so you can better speak to it. It's just a case of the law against ethics, because what is ethical might not necessarily be reinforced, or that belief might not be reinforced by the law of the land. Now, in America, now, for instance, you have state laws. Most state laws will allow for religious exemptions, and what we do in most cases is you have a talk with the parents about, because the goal is to save the life of the child, right? So if you frame the conversation with the parents around that, right, we trying to save their life, and if they say no, we get court injunctions against the family, because in court they have to prove that what we are proposing as the healthcare provider will harm the child, and we all we have to prove is that them not following the guidelines will actually harm the child. And in most cases, the ones I have seen so far, the courts will side with the healthcare providers to save the child, because that will now be regarded, the parent's position will be regarded as that of neglect or abuse or child abuse. So I think there should be this campaign to change the laws, this religious exceptions, because it's not just it's not just this Jehovah's Witness. You have your other sectors, other religious sect as well that practice something similar. Refusing vaccinations, for instance, COVID vaccinations, the sudden increase in polio cases. So you have all these things that have been going on for a while, and I think it's about time that we change the laws to reflect, like one man was alluding to earlier, modern times. Like if Christianity began in this modern era, of course it would take a different form, and it's about time the religious Christians in this case evolve and adopt to modern times. And in this case, blood transfusion to save the life of a child should be something that the church even champions or promotes, like in their own within their own service, whatever they do over there. They need to even champion this. And I've always been an advocate for religious organizations championing the need for healthcare, and not brainwashing members to believe that only Christ can save them. Well, an injection can save you too. God is the one that created the doctors. God is the one that created the plants that made the medicine. So indirectly, it's still skydiving. So if skydiving is what you want to believe in, maybe you should also listen to the other kits of skydiving as well that can help save a life. Let me leave it there for now.
Yeah, Babati, that is good. I think you've spoken well in the sense that we really need to step up the games and just try to find a way to limit some kind of indoctrination that does not really represent the main religion that people trying to really promote. Because you see, this thing is that some set of human being can start somewhere, and what they feel they push to you, and before you know, from generation to generation, it just becomes something that they practice. Just look at this. How do you imagine? Okay, a new. I'm not a doctor, but let me pretend that I know some things within the medical line. Maybe a newborn child that has some kind of jaundice, and you call it prenatal, whatever you call it, Babati and Simba. So, and maybe that child needs, because of the level of jaundice, and needs some kind of taking the blood within the child away and now give the child a new blood. And you know that this thing has some kind of health implication that can even create some kind of mental issue, or can even be more fatal. And someone is saying he should not get blood transfusion. So I can't really see logic, because to me, like someone says, yeah, is you can see someone that is refusing a child blood transfusion, like someone that is trying to commit manslaughter. So to me, I think it's the government, and government really need to step up, and they should use the religious leaders that really believe in medical process to promote it. So I think I support that. I don't know if Babati or
No, I do. Like, yeah, you're right. The law should reflect modern health. I mean, should help promote.
But let me say something about legally in Nigeria now. There's a Supreme Court judgment. There's actually that he has nobody can refuse blood transfusion on behalf of any children in Nigeria now. So that means you can override decision of the parents, and you are still guided by law. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if there's any need for emergency blood transfusion from a child of a Jehovah's Witness, the law can override the consent of the patient or the parents.
Simba,
You understand?
But
Yes.
you know what I'm more interested in that case will be the position of the defendant in that case, the people that are opposed to the government's position. So that means they made an argument before the Supreme Court, right, in defense of that religious belief.
Yes, now that Nigeria, we have been faced with several cases, and that was why some people take it to court. Initially, it was even in a peak, but the Supreme Court have given a final judgment now.
Okay, so
and
they
said
they lost.
The state has absolute right to take over the minor and administer blood transfusion treatment without parental consent.
So, but did they also talk about those that, let's say, insist or refuse? And
that's what I'm saying. You didn't understand what I'm saying. That the state has absolute right to take over.
I know, but I'm saying that for those that then don't refuse or just abscond with the child, for instance, what is the law's punishment? Is it is it jail term? Is it they lose the child?
Okay, I understand. Okay, now if they decided to be violent, you can arrest them. They can be arrested.
Okay, wow. Okay, Nigeria is growing finally, but I wish they can allow you, have your private session with those teen girls about pills and okay, you're the pediatrician, you know that.
But even if you want to, yes, but even if you want to extend it, by law, does a child have a religion?
No, they don't. But no, the bigger question is, who owns the child? That's what it boils down to, really, Simba. Who owns the child? Is it because that is what the parents have been enjoying for so long, for to say, well, I have the right over this child. But if government can override you on some instance, then does the child belong to the community, which is the government, right? Of an extension. So who really owns the child? Because whoever owns it can actually control or determine what happens to the child. So government go to, sorry, Oman was
So sorry, I just want to insert just that question: who owns the child? The child belongs to him or herself first, and then the state, and then the parents. That should be the sequence.
wow.
The
That's a
individual
new
belongs
one
to
now.
himself, then the state, and then the parents.
That means that okay. So I think that's more of the Western world now, because I think in Nigeria it's still the parents, and the parents. I think we've not evolved to the point where we want to see, which I agree with you in government should also have a say. The community should also have a say in what happens to the child, because parents might get it wrong. In this case now, blood transfusion. So I think the government should also have a say in the child's well-being as well. I think so. One man, that's a good answer. Just the way you had it lined up is what might not agree with. But yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you, Babati. Let's hear from Mike.
Hey, what's up, bro? Yeah, I think in the case of Africa, I think government are less involved in family. I would say the ownership of child or things like that. It's less.
Mike, wait, did they even know you existed?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Because I've seen where some people, the child will die, they just gonna dig hole in the backyard and bury the child. Like they don't even have to go to government for death certificate, account, or anything like that. So it's just a different world. It's a different world. In Africa, it's still more of the parents own the child. They do whatever they decide. They dictate whether you live or die, or whether you have future or not. Everything is all in hands of parents. And I think the only way we begin to advance is the day will come where the government will just take over the ownership of children, where we have a law where every child born is accounted for, and also just government take over the shaping of the mind, everything, just take over, separate the kids from the old generation, just do their shaping their minds to become the kind of citizen you want them to be, or the citizen in a line with where the nation is trying to go. I think that's the only time Africa will begin to take shape. Have a direction. But as long as we keep this ignoring that children don't exist, government is not involved in how children will grow up, whatever, we're just going to keep having this confused population where population is just not in line with society, with the system, or where society is trying to go. So, yeah, that's a whole different issue. But, yeah, to me, if I become president of Nigeria, first thing I'll do, an entire budget will be focused on children. Like, honestly, directly towards children, like under age, and I'll just leave the adult and everybody else just fed for themselves. Most of the budget will focus on children's welfare, education, just no child's rights. Every child must have a right to be fed, educated, and just child's right entirely. Everything else secondary, shaping their mind and everything. So that's why you create new future. That's why you design new future for society. But if you ignore children, forget it, man. Just so to the topic, what is this thing about blood with Nigerian African Christians? Like, I know
It's not only African Christians, Mike. It's Jehovah Witness. They don't believe in blood transfusion.
Even Western Jehovah Witness.
Yes. Even if you watch the video that we played when we started the program, it's just all about Yankee. There wasn't any.
I didn't catch that beginning. Maybe that's why. I didn't catch the beginning of this.
Yeah, it's all over the world. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. They just have this issue of blood. They just demonize that. They demonize blood. I see. And I always feel like there's an agenda. The goal is just to target other people's. I always feel they came up with that demonizing of blood. I see if something's wrong with blood, and when blood is in our body, I don't know how blood can be something of evil. They tend to, especially Nigeria, they tend to tie blood to evil. Like blood, I see is something negative, and I don't get it. And we all grew up thinking blood is something of evil, or maybe because of the color is red. I don't know. And to me, I think the whole idea came from just trying to demonize traditional ways because they know that we work with blood a lot, So, so I think that's where the whole idea may be coming from. I don't know, but I mean, science, common, it's basic science. I mean, blood is without blood, you really don't. A person doesn't exist. You need blood. Blood. A blood is what tells everything about a person. The signature of a person. There's nothing in the person you want to know. There's no there's no in the blood. So for someone to be saying, no blood, this, I don't get it, man. It's ridiculous. The Jehovah
I'm
Witness,
not
he was
quite
being checked,
sure.
yeah.
I'm not quite sure. Sorry, Mike. I didn't even know you had internet in Nigeria, especially in the Abule that you're
I'm
in.
really good.
Mike, what are Choma is saying in the comment section? Selena and Michael Jackson passed because they refused blood transfusion.
I don't believe that one. Michael Jackson was dead in his hotel before they even got to the.
No,
I
it
think
wasn't
she's taking
about
out.
blood transfusion for Michael. It was about overdose on the narcotics that his doctor gave him. He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't sleep. So I think the guy comes in. I think the guy is what's that?
Give him the
Yeah, the
Propofol.
doctors that they usually give what are they called, Simba? The people that gives injection before surgery.
Anesthesia.
Anesthesia, yeah.
Yeah.
And he got
Anesthetics.
anesthetics. So he got one of them to be giving him that injection that they usually give through spinal
I
cord.
think it was Propofol.
Yeah, give
It
it
was
Propofol. Yeah.
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 Thank you, Simba. Thank you, Simba. So he overdosed on that. So that was what killed Michael. Yeah. So no, it wasn't anything to do with blood transfusion for him. So do we have Zita? Is Zita ready to contribute? Okay.
About to close.
No, I'm not about to close. Are you
Okay.
cooking?
Yeah, I'm doing something. I will just come in when I'm ready, please.
Fine. So we can go ahead. So I just think that you see, if you're brainwashed about a particular thing, please
Let me give you a scenario of a case
Yeah.
that happened in Nigeria.
Okay, go ahead.
There was a child in the Niger Delta area. In fact, it was precisely Chevron Hospital. This child was delivered in the same hospital, and then a few days after, this child fell sick, and this child required urgent blood transfusion. Then the mother was informed about this blood transfusion, but she refused based on the religion, her religious or practice. But the hospital now reported the case to the police. So the police went to the magistrate court and they got an injunction, which actually instructed the hospital to go ahead with the blood transfusion. They said the right to life supersedes the right to religion for the child. So that child was actually transfused and the child got better and they discharged the child. 2 years after, the parent instigated a case against the hospital. Even the child, that child, when he grown up, he actually instigated a case against the hospital, claiming that they transfused him that time without his consent and without his parent consent. So the case went to the High Court, went to the even appeal court. But at the end of the day, they ruled in favor of the hospital that what they were hammering on was that the right to life supersedes the right to religion. And that case proceeded to Supreme Court, which now gave a final verdict on that issue. And that was how even the Nigerian Medical and Dental Council now got an injunction that if you see any child and the parents refuse, you can just go ahead. You don't need to even take anybody to any other court or got any court injunction. Since any judgment passed by the Supreme Court is just like a constitution. So I think so.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
the law
how
here
we got
too,
to that.
Canada. Yeah, that's the law here too. So it's just the argument is that you can just listen to every parent. Most people are not normal upstairs. So how can somebody that is not that mentally stable come and make a decision for a whole team when a child is in danger? So it's just like that here in Canada. So
But
you can't just come in. Yeah. Yeah.
what happens to those? Because I've heard cases. I've not seen it, but I've heard cases where the hospital goes ahead and transfuse the blood.
Mhm.
Then the parents would then claim that the child does not belong. They want to give up the child for
Yeah.
foster care, or they abandon the child. So how do you think society should address that situation where they just don't feel like the child belongs to them anymore? It's a completely person. Should we embrace this them giving up the child for somebody else to adopt or for foster care?
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
want, because
Wow.
you see what I'm thinking in the future too. Most of those children are still going to sue their parents if they are alive, because it's just like those Gen Zs when they go to surgeons, when they're being referred to surgeons, that they want to actually change their their sex from a male to a female, from a female to a male. They come afterwards, after a couple of years, that they want to sue the doctor that helped them to change their reproductive system. They don't want it anymore. They believe that they were not in the right senses when they made that decision, that an adult should have counseled them better instead of them to go ahead to do that surgery for them. So it's still going to come down to that too, that those children will still sue their parents if they're alive. That why didn't you allow me to take this? Why didn't you allow me to do this? So that's why the government are coming in now to say, no, if we are going to decide if this child is going to take this blood transfusion. And if you don't want that child again, it's fair enough. We can, go ahead to put that child in a foster care so that somebody else will be taking care of that child. Do you understand, Babati? So I think it's still what the society is still going to be on the government side. Because somebody that we don't even know his mental stability can't just come to make a decision for a whole team in the hospital that he doesn't want, blood transfusion for a child. So I believe that the society will still be on the government's side, even if they refuse that child after the blood transfusion. That's okay. Let the child go into a foster care if you don't want that child anymore. If you're normal, can you say that? No be worried be that. So I don't understand. So if they don't want that child,
So can we, Lucy, is it possible for the state to take over that child from the parent?
Yes, that's what Babati is saying now. That most of them might be looking at it that they don't want that child any longer. So the state will take over, of course. They will take over that child. Even here, Simba, if you have a child in the hospital, if you to see blood transfusion gone, if you have a child right now in the hospital, they're going to ask you, are you capable to take care of this child? Fill out a form if you want us to take this child away now. They give people that option. Talk less of you refusing a child because of blood transfusion. Do you understand what I mean? If you even have a child without even any argument of blood transfusion, if you don't want that child immediately, they give you a form to fill and they take the child away from you.
But
right
Dupsy, you know, I'm sure you've heard cases where once that is done, so people give up their kids because of that. I'm sure the Jehovah Witnesses where they feel like, man, the blood is that person's a new person now. That person has somebody else's blood in them, so therefore,
yes, I've heard that
they're not gonna match out. So, but in the Nigerian setting, I don't know if they have provisions for.
In Nigeria, I don't think the only thing that we have now in Nigeria is actually to borrow the consent of the parent and at least save that life first. But what happens after if the parent now refuses to accept that child back? I don't know much about that. I don't know much. But Babati in US, because there was another case I was aware of in Italy. You know, there are so many disease conditions now that blood transfusion can actually be a life-saving procedure for them. Let's say a child that has sickle cell disease, child with thalassemia, which require regular blood transfusion monthly, because that is part of the procedure for management of this patient. There was a case in Italy where the parents initially they were not Jehovah's Witness, so they have started this kind of monthly transfusion. Then after they became a Jehovah's Witness, they said they are no longer bringing that child for transfusion. So the hospital notified the police, and they seek an injunction from a court, which actually mandated these parents bringing their child for transfusion. But they now discovered that they don't regularly bring this child. Eventually, this child died from the complication of this disease. So at that point, that was when they now raised the issue that what would be the punishment for parents who refuse blood transfusion and the child died? Could it be a criminal offense? Could they be jailed for that, or state could just actually take over the management? I mean, the care of these children. So those are the issues that we have to just think. I think that we can raise here.
Thank you, Simba. Let's hear from Zita.
Lucy.
Yeah.
Oh, now well done. No.
Thank you, my sister.
I've not been listening. Can you tell me what it's all about, please?
Oh, yeah. It's just about, we're talking about the Jehovah's Witness, the parents that usually refuse blood transfusion for their wards based on their religious background. They don't allow, they don't usually take blood transfusion. So what's the implication when you refuse a child from taking blood transfusion? That's basically what we're discussing.
You want me to discuss freely on it instead of because it's not only Jehovah's Witness that do that.
Yeah, we are talking from that angle, actually, from Jehovah's Witness.
From the Jehovah's Witness
angle.
Yes, actually, the situation and the circumstances surrounding a juvenile all over the world is very dicey. You see, sometimes in some countries, some ethnicities, you don't really know who has the power to decide what a child should have and not have. If we reduce it to blood transfusion, we discuss it and we condemn it. But if we open it up, as I usually do, to everything concerning juvenile, that the parents put their feet down and said, you are my child, this is what I want you to do, then it will become a case to discuss. Number one, let me say this. I want to be very fair. Spiritually and scientifically, blood carries a lot. We all know that. I'm happy I have a lot of doctors in the platform. Blood scientifically is not an ordinary thing. Hello?
We are listening to you, Zita.
Blood scientifically is not an ordinary thing. It carries a lot. We all know that, which can change everything about that being. Scientifically, spiritually.
I don't know about that too. Maybe if you're talking from the spiritual angle, yeah. But we are talking about scientific angle.
Yeah. What is in a blood scientifically? See, check them now. You are in the medical line.
Yes, now blood is just something that can help sustain you. I don't know.
Okay, why is it that they screen the blood?
Zita, you should know I'm not in the spiritual space.
I'm not talking about spiritual. I'm talking about medically. Why do they screen the blood?
Yeah, just to be sure that
Thank
it
you.
matches with your own
Thank
blood.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. They are only screening on acceptance. They are not screening on other things. They only screen deadly disease and on acceptance. The moment they confirm that there is no deadly disease at that point that can harm the receiver, and they ascertain that the body of the receiver can accept that particular blood, they run with it. You can make your research further. That's it. Then spiritually too, there is a lot going on in the blood. But then the question will be the orientation, because some people call it religion. I don't really actually call it religion. I call it orientation, programming. Humans get up. They get programmed to believe in certain things, which is orientation, either by their parents, their environment, their friends who raised them, and things like that. I can assure you nobody was born a Christian. But because of the environment or the parents or the situation or wherever the person was born, it becomes that thing. And as you grow, they program you to believe in that thing. So what will a programmed brain has to do with the life of a child? That is the question everybody should be asking. I am programmed to understand that taking blood from somebody to save a life is not good. Programming, orientation. Why put it on a child? What I usually say, in some countries, it's already happening. The government usually step in. Like there are some juvenile decisions they don't. There is a total law on it. The parents has no choice, more especially when it has to do with emergency that might lead to fatality. That child should be saved. But even at that, what about those in the rural areas? What about those who are where they don't have such laws? What happens to those kids? Nothing. They die. But I usually ask, I have come across somebody like that, a Jehovah Witness. And I asked him, he gave me all manner of beautiful reasons. I've even come across a vegetarian who refused to take blood from somebody who is not a vegetarian.
But all these things has to do with mental stability. I
Thank
don't
you.
understand it.
So by the time the person finished telling me how wonderful he believes in his God and everything, and therefore he's going to obey the law of his God to the latter, I said, you didn't believe enough for that thing not to happen. He was looking at me. I said, you did not believe enough for that child not to have leukemia, for that child not to have jaundice, for that child not to have that accident that needs blood transfusion. You did not believe enough. But you read your Bible. You were brainwashed. But in the other side, you were not brainwashed enough to protect that child from not having that thing. And I told him, since you don't have enough belief on the orientation to protect that child must take that blood. He said, I said, you heard me. So these things are the problems the society have. You do see. I don't even know why a father or a mother should be watching the child dying and they begin to talk about his orientation. So you want the child to die because of what you believe? And if you look at them, monitor them from day to day, they are not even that righteous. And it's not everything in it that they believe in. You are reading the same Bible with me. You choose the areas that are good for you. And the other area, you don't choose it. It's ridiculous. But I just want to say that the government should step in, not just stepping in on these juvenile laws, but stepping in to put a very harsh consequences
Mm-hmm.
on whosoever takes that decision.
Mm.
If that child loses his life, there should be a harsh, I want to use the word harsh consequences, like throwing the parents into life imprisonment so that they
I
will
agree
not have
with
to
you.
do it to another child.
I agree with you, Zita. I do.
Thank you, Ducey.
I agree with you. Thank you so much, Zita. I agree with
Sita,
Zita.
did I just hear you say life imprisonment so that they will not have another child?
They will
No,
not
no,
have
no,
to
no.
do
That's
it.
the
No,
remaining
what I
child,
said is
the
life
rest of the children.
imprisonment so that they will not have to do it to another child. In the sense that if they are thrown into jail, even if they have other children, those children will be taken away from them.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. They can have another child in the prison now, and when they have,
But
it should be taken away
you
from them.
don't let us be carried away by where most of us are living now. Can we discuss this issue based on the situation in our country? If we have a parent that has, let's say, 6 children, and you now say you want to imprison because of one child, the parents, who will take care of the remaining 5?
That's why I said, when I speak, I like people to listen very well. That's why I said the government should step in. I've gone to an excursion before. A child, we went for an excursion. It was during winter. A child of 4 years was with us. When we get off from the bus, when we were coming in, the parents, the father and the mother, allowed that child to climb into the bus by himself, and he tripped, wounded himself. This boy cried and cried, and the bus driver stopped, called medical, called the police. And do you know what these parents did? They took this child and ran off the bus. They were running. That time I was quite it didn't make sense to me. So I started asking. I said, why is the driver on the phone making call, telling the place where we are parked and everything? Why did they grab the child? And some other 2 men started chasing them. They told me that definitely when the police come, or whatever the driver has come, the first thing they're going to do is to take that child away from them. So that's why I said the government should step in. The government should not step in with only laws and policies. They should step in making an environment to accommodate the law and the policy. That's what I'm saying. So definitely by the time they put the law to take the child away from them, there should be a place for those children. After all, in Nigeria, we still have motherless babies.
Do we have foster care system in Nigeria?
That is what I'm saying. He made mention of Nigeria.
Okay.
Some other countries too. So I said, generally, the government of every country should step in, which include my country, Nigeria. And I am saying, if they're going to step in, it's not by stepping in with laws and policies. I'm talking about stepping in with law, policies, and an environment that will accommodate those laws and policies, which means they should put child care centers. I think I've answered your question.
Thank you so much, Zita. Guys, let's move on to the next topic because I think we've spent over 1 hour on this. We've gone 1 hour, 14 minutes already. So let's move on to the next topic so that we can be able to round up in 2 hours. Thank you, woman. One man. Okay.
My wife, but I may never get a chance to divorce her. Before you jump down my throat, let me give some backstory to this situation. I, 28 male, have my wife, Amber, 28 female, and we've been married for the last 10 years. Today, I woke up in the morning, grabbed her out of bed, showered her, wiped her, fed her, and then sat her inside of her favorite chair with her favorite show playing. My wife, for all intents and purposes, is a shell, a body of the person that she used to be. A year and a half ago, my wife got into a tragic car accident. She got hit in a T-bone collision going 75 while running a red light. I stopped loving my wife 2 months ago. And I know what you might be thinking, it was because she was in a vegetable state. No, that was not it. I still loved my wife inside of that state and took care of her every single day. I still take care of her every single day. The reason I hate my wife was because of what I found in her phone. I was going to do a collage of our relationship and put it inside of our room to show how commemorative we are together. All the trips we took together, all the places we have been, everything we have visited on my dime because I loved her and I cared for her and I wanted her to have the best things in the world. Well, when I went into her phone, I kind of saw some messages from the exact day of the accident. It pretty much was, hurry up. Where are you? I need you right now. I'm on the way. I love you. I had trouble getting away from him. Who's him? I'm him. I looked at the phone and I was shocked. I've never seen this name before, but after scrolling through the messages, I saw pictures, I saw videos, I saw things that I couldn't even get her to do with me. In Barbados, I couldn't even get her to do with me. In Japan, I'm sitting there like, wait, we went all over the world, and you did this next door. You did this down the street. You did this a block away. Okay, this is ridiculous. So I had to see who the man was. I had to find him. I had to know who was this great man. And I went to his page, and I saw. He was inside of a relationship. He got into a relationship 2 days after my wife's accident, after the lady that he was smashing on got put into a military situation, got vegetabilized. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Somebody that loved you with all of their heart, that would take care of you every single day while you were sick, you don't love, you're not there for, you won't do these things for, but somebody that will leave you 2 days after your accident, somebody that won't give a second if you're okay after your accident, that's the person you love. So you know what her favorite show is? Every single day, I sit her down in front of the TV and I show her that he didn't give a about her. And I make her watch as I my wife, but I mean.
Is that all, woman? Okay, I think that's all. So this story is just about this guy lamenting. I know you guys have heard it all. That his wife cheated on him before the woman was had a very terrible accident. Woman, you want to say something? Woman, okay.
No, I was only going to say that's all. It's
Okay.
the story of a guy who takes
Yeah.
who takes care of his wife, who is in a vegetative state. So it does all of the things that he needs to do until, like he said, he was going to put together a collage to lift her spirit, a collage around their relationship to lift her spirit and just to keep her up. And then in the course of going through her phone, he finds that she was actually cheating on him. She was actually going to meet the guy that she was cheating with when she had the accident that put her in a vegetative state. So does that leave the window for the guy to abandon, or what does he do?
I don't think he should abandon her. I don't think so. I think
Lucy, what are you
I
talking
think
about?
no, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so, Mike. Because it's for better for worse, right?
Eh?
In sickness and in health. Yeah. If you're really a mature adult. Because if this is this guy that's committed this sin now, the woman will still stay. Yeah.
Lucy,
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that's how you will
And
spin
you're
the
taking
story.
sorrow.
If people reverse it, if you reverse the case now, that's not the way you scream.
You always look out
Now
for
is
the
a
women.
woman,
You're
I
always
tell you to
biased.
continue.
I get in sorrow. What are you doing? I get in sorrow. So I think the guy should continue actually to take care of this woman because we are hearing. Remember, it's just a one-sided story that we're hearing on this platform. We don't know why this woman cheated. We don't even know if the woman cheated on him. He's the story is telling us. So let's judge from there. I'm just saying, as the moderator, Because
No, don't change the story. We heard the story. So let us discuss it based on the story. Don't twist. You are twisting it.
Story. I'm
It's
not
not what.
twisting it. Are you the moderator? So I said, it's always a two-way street. We are airing one side of the story. When you boy join the konda agba oshikani, the kinsha agba oshika. So I'm just saying that we should just concentrate on this side. If it's this side that is true to the story,
Can I ask you a question, Lucy?
Mm-hmm.
Can there be a reason for cheating? Because you said maybe that's the reason.
Yeah, of course.
Can there be a reason?
There are a lot of reasons why people cheat, both men and women. There are a lot of
so, is there any reason that is acceptable? That is acceptable for cheating?
No, not really. I don't agree to cheating, but there are a lot of people that cheat on different kinds of reasons.
So that means we should forget about that angle. So there is no justification for saying that maybe there's a reason.
That is the reality of life. People cheat for different reasons. That is the reality of life. Do you understand? And I'm not siding the woman.
Okay, let me give you a story that is actually currently happening in Nigeria.
Simba, before you give that story, let me just put this position. If everything remains the same, but if it was the man that had the accident and is in a vegetative state, what would that woman do? Would that woman stay with him?
That's what I asked.
And that's what we are. That's not the question you asked. So you are twisting the story.
I'm not.
We are the one that put it to you. If it's a man, if it happens to a man,
what you are hearing,
Mike, you are here now.
If your hair is twisting you, I'm not twisting the story. I said I'm the moderator. We have to talk from the two sides. We can't just say
okay. I agree with you.
And if the woman is cheating, assuming the woman cheated, I said maybe she might have her own reasons. And you're asking, is there any reason why people cheat? Yeah, people have different reasons why they cheat in their relationship or their marriages. So we can't just say you shouldn't cheat. Of course, that is where I'm coming from. Don't cheat. But nobody can put gun on anybody's head that do not cheat in your relationship. People do whatever suits them. They are adults. So they can cheat if they want, if they choose to cheat, and you face the consequences of of you cheating on your partner if your partner gets to know. So, but when you say, is there a reason why people? Yeah, a lot of people cheat, and I'm sure you, Simba, as you are like this.
Josie, I have a question for you.
Let me finish what I'm saying. So I'm not supporting the woman. You guys should get it straight. If the woman has cheated on this guy, as this guy has told us, it's not good. It's not good at all. I'm not saying I'm totally against that. But there will be a reason too for that woman cheating on this guy. So I'm begging you, brother, don't leave your beloved wife. Is in that vegetable state now for you to take care of her. Forgive her and do take good care of her. Till probably maybe her life is going to end soon, that you'll be regretting that you should have forgiven and took care of her to the last.
But can you forgive and still move on? Or do you have to forgive and take care at the same time? You can forgive and just move on. Huh? You don't have to.
Yeah, you can forgive and move on. It's his choice. Actually.
But you don't have to forgive and still be taking care of her.
It's his choice. Remember, we are just saying.
No. What you are telling us is that you shouldn't abandon her. You should forgive
that is my own opinion. So you have your own opinion as well. Mike, what is the problem?
I'm not against your opinion. I'm just asking you a question now. You don't say that you are Fadina. Well, you don't ever argue against your opinion. I'm not trying to fully understand your position now.
Okay, I understand you, brother. Okay, Ola, you're trying to say something.
So if a woman has a reason for cheating, then can a man have a reason for leaving the wife too when things like this happen? Because woman, it can justify as cheating, right? Now, in a situation like this, can the man too have a reason for leaving her?
Okay, yes, I agree with you. Yeah, it depends on him. Me, I'm just talking from my own, what I think about the situation. No matter what we say here, remember, this guy is still going to go with whatever he believes he wants to do in this case. So
Yes.
I'm just saying that that's
If
my
you,
opinion.
Dipsy,
You can't, yeah.
Dipsy, if you
That
ask
is my
for my
opinion.
own opinion,
Okay, okay. Yeah.
if you ask for my own opinion, I will
Okay.
approach it from two angles. One, I will just okay. If truly this woman was cheating on this man, I think the nemesis has already caught up with her. She has received the punishment for that. This man should continue supporting her till the point of death. That's what that's what I want to say about that. Then because
I can't
the
believe
other
Simba can say this. Tori Simba Olojuanu, what's Buruju? I can't
No,
believe he can say
it's
that.
an healthcare giver now. It's into the healthcare
so
game. So
because he said something, Lucy. You know that certain things like this is a matter of life and death.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I agree
And
with you.
there are certain things that will happen after death that you live to regret, as you said. So this kind of situation, no matter the offense of this woman, if this man should live and the woman die in the consequence, he will also live to regret it.
Exactly.
So I think what he needs to do, the only thing is that this situation will dampen his spirit.
I agree.
By definitely being a human being. But if we truly believe that that's what we call love really exists, love should supersede everything. But in the real sense of it, does love really exist? I don't think so.
No.
That's the problem.
Thank you for your submission, Simba. Yeah.
if he has the capacity, because I
Yeah.
know that
Ola, let's hear from Zita. We've not heard Zita's opinion. Yeah. Zita, go ahead.
Yeah.
Zita.
What did I
Zita.
do?
Go ahead, Zita. Yeah.
Okay. I had Ola saying something.
Okay. No, I wanted to say that depending on the guy's economic situation,
first of all,
I'm trying to support a Simba to some extent that if the guy has some kind of enough financial muscle, like Shoma is suggesting, you forgive her, you find someone to take care of her. If you have that capacity, then you move on with your life. That's what I was going to say.
Actually, let me start by saying that the story is kind of disjointed. It's not straight. The story is not complete. Either he framed it to just make for the optics of it, today's social media to make a video of him and say that. But let's talk about it. First of all, the position should be the position of forgiveness. It's not love. It's where is forgiveness in the whole of this? If you say forgive her, find a health a nurse, and then walk away, I don't think you're forgiving her. Because actually, what is actually making you leave is that incident. If they already had a nurse that was taking care of the woman and he saw this and decided to walk away, that's fine. Forgive her and walk away, that's fine. But he's saying that he's being the one taking care of her. If you say forgive her and walk away, then you didn't forgive her. But that is, in this situation, that's where that position in marriage that comes in. When they say, in marriage, you must learn how to forgive. If you cannot, then I always advise the young ones around me. If you cannot, I don't think I will advise you to go into marriage. Because I usually tell them, when I speak to them, I tell them that a whole lot do happen in marriage. A whole lot. I went to pillow
Thank
talk.
you, Jarizita. Most of those men, they are not mature to be married. Don't mind them. They will come for me now. They won't let me talk.
Duke, are you trolling or what? Are you trolling or are you trolling or what?
I went for several courses on the pillow talk. That was
let me ask
20
you guys
years
a
ago.
question. Anyway,
Before
so
I even got married. And then I learned a lot and I become an instructor to the young ones. If you are a human and you find it difficult in your life to forgive, I don't think marriage is something you should go into. Otherwise, you might pretend to keep the marriage, but the marriage is not happening. A whole lot to go on, either from the man's side or the woman's side. But in all, you should wear the shield of forgiveness, not love. Because sometimes there are things in marriage that happen just as this guy is talking. Your brain will be shooting popcorn. Popcorn. But after, if the popcorn is all blown, calm down, think. Then go and use your key and open the place of forgiveness, not love. When you unlock that forgiveness in your heart, you make a way. Now, this man, it would have been very easy for the man if the woman had that accident, not on her way to see the guy, but just an accident. And he later find out that, yeah, my wife had an accident going to work, but, oh, so this woman was cheating on me before. It would have been a lighter case. But this one, the case is heavy in the sense that not just an accident, but an accident that you are leaving me going to cheat. And then in the process of I'm coming on my way, wait for me, and then I carry the shit. It's really annoying. And for some people, it's going to be very difficult. Even if, because of their religion, their culture, their ethics, some people have what they call principles in life that they don't want to walk out of a marriage and be a divorcee. I know most people today who are in marriage, that's their situation. In my family, nobody divorced. My religion does not allow that. My principles, I don't want to be a divorcee. And they are actually living, pretending to be married, but they are not. If this guy happens to be that type, even if he sits down there to take care of that lady, he'll be doing things he's not supposed to do. Maybe leaving her with her mess for several hours before coming to clean it. She might get infected, or maybe even giving her a soured food or something that will, because your mind have not forgiven her. But your principles, your laws, your culture, your ethnicity, your religion is forcing you to stay. That's why I said it's good we have that forgiveness. If you can play around with forgiveness and don't take things so strong, because things just do happen. They just do happen. Look, Ducey, this is why you're saying there must be a reason why the woman is cheating. I can assure you that from my investigation and my record from those young ones I talked to, most of them, normally that age is calling. Ducey, they don't even have a reason. I can assure you, most of them don't have a reason. And the annoying part of that is when you ask them, they will just say, Auntie, it just happened. What? It just happened? Is that easy? But it is what it is.
It's the culture that made people, the babies, to now say they want to, entangle themselves with some other person. It's the culture, the religion, and everything. If you're not matured in your mind, why going into marriage?
Look, marriage is not for everybody.
Maturity. Yeah,
it's not for everybody.
I agree.
I actually like the way the society is doing it now. Although for people who are religious, for people like me who have principles, for people like me who have strong
But the two of you, don't you think that even religion is one of those things that is actually cementing our marriage?
That is
I
what
don't.
I
I
am
don't believe
saying.
that. I don't believe that, man. I don't believe
Listen,
that.
it depends on what you
It
mean by
is. It is.
cementing. Simba, you use the word cementing your marriage. That cementing, I think, is in the air. It cements nothing. Some people are married. The word and the meaning of marriage, of union, of two people turning to one is not existing in that marriage. But they are married. And they go to church together. And for people like Simba, they will say, is that church that is cementing?
Don't mind Simba. She's cementing waiting.
It's either
people full of
happening or
deceit.
it's not happening.
Well, just
Simba,
full of
it's either happening
nonsense
or it's not happening. Unless we are talking about people who got married that are still living together. If we are talking about that, we can talk about that. But if you are talking about people who
They are no longer,
that
there
are
is no
still
marriage
married,
again, but there is no longer marriage between them, but they are still living together. Is that what you are saying?
yes, yes, and yes, yes, and yes. And when you interview these two people,
so do you think that marriage can just exist without something? If there is something that any marriage, there is something keeping it.
No, as I said before, Simba, listen very well. As I said before, I said there are so many reasons why people do not walk out of their marriages. So many reasons. It might be their principle in life. They said, my principle, I don't like divorce. I don't want to be called a divorcee or a divorcee. Some will say, in my family, it become a genetical thing. In my family, nobody has ever divorced. My religion don't support it. My culture frowns at it. So
Or the consequence. So people, even in the Senate, in the developer, people fear the fear of the consequence also makes some people to continue.
No, listen. They are not continuing in marriage. Let me make this clear. The difference between a man and a woman got married and they are living married is different from a man and woman got married and they are still living together. There are two different things. Totally two different things. Now, when you say they stay married, no, they are staying. Remove the marriage. These things I just mentioned is what make them staying, but not married. Maybe Simba, you need to have chat with them, or maybe if you have a church or a society where they discuss about these young people these days that are married, they come for counseling and complaints and all those things. Simba, one day you will use stick and cover your ear. What
Don't
you
mind
hear
him.
from these young people.
Don't mind him. Zita, let's hear from Rational Mind, please.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Rational Mind is here.
I'm watching my team. I'll join you later.
Let's marry the eléyìí sọ̀rọ̀ Tinubu. Ó sì lè yẹ pé Tinubu ló máa jẹ́ kí gbogbo marriage ó dissolve báyìí.
Boyfriend, kí ló wá ṣe? Okay. So I don't think we've heard from Babati on this topic. Babati and Mike. How about Mike?
Mike, go ahead. I think it's better just listen and.
Let's Mike go ahead then. Mike.
Babati can go ahead if you want to reform me. Or,
Mike, Martin, go ahead now. Martin is right now. Go ahead.
Mike, go ahead.
Okay, so I think the way I wanted to go, but Mama Sita spoke wisdom, so it kind of reshaped the way I was saying it. But um, it's very difficult. Like, okay, you can forgive and move on. So I'm not saying you can't forgive her for the running around, but where I don't understand is when Mama Sita say if he moves on, then he didn't forgive. But I don't know. So if let's say
Because Mike, I think I agree with Zita. If you forgive the woman, then you should continue what you are doing for her. But if you don't, then if you not say you forgive, then you leave her and you continue with your life. You didn't forgive. There's no forgiveness there.
okay, so let's say accident didn't happen, right? And he just caught her doing it, and then he moves on, and but say I forgive you. So does it mean he didn't forgive? Like let's take away the
that's another scenario entirely. Yeah, I
uh-uh.
agree. That means he's forgiven too.
It,
Yeah.
it,
Yeah,
no,
but
no, no,
the
no, no,
purpose of
no.
him moving on is not.
Dupsy,
Yeah.
Dupsy.
Yeah.
If even this accident didn't occur, and maybe he was caught in the act, and the man said, "I forgive you," but you said, "Okay, you can no longer continue with the marriage." What is the forgiveness?
No, it
Do you
depends
know
on that
what?
person.
Do you know what you did?
Yeah,
It's not forgiveness. What you did, you are leaving her without consequences and penalties. That is what you just did. You said, "I forgive you." Like, I don't want to go through all this. I don't want to start maltreating you for
Zita,
way you
you should
behave.
always put people's mental health in place. Some people can't handle that mentally. They just have to move on.
But
Do you
don't you guys
understand?
think
So
it's
don't
a
let us
very?
force them. Don't let us force them into staying in that kind of marriage. Some people can't cope mentally. Do you understand with that kind of a thing? So
I mean,
don't let us
besides this,
say that that person has to stay in that marriage after forgiving. No, there's no rule that states that. It depends on how you can handle it mentally.
Forgiveness. That's why I said it's a place in a human that the person must have the strength to always unlock. Forgiveness is not a word. Neither is just spoken. Forgiveness is something that comes from your brain, your heart, your body, and your being.
You see,
So when you forgive, your mental problem or mental situation should not come in.
It will. You can't control people's mental health.
Let me say this.
It's not possible. It depends on how they feel. Yeah.
Are you guys hear me at all?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
You see where Madam Sita is saying you forgive and you still stay with the marriage and things like that. You see, maybe the time you came, there was no such thing called HIV and all these things, STDs and all these things, right? If your wife is out there, it's not the purpose you move for. It's not matter of because I can't forgive because she did something. It's for your own safety now. If once you stay with a marriage with someone going out to do something, what should the person gonna bring this thing home to you and finish your life? Go and bring HIV home to you. So moving on is not because you didn't forgive. You moved on for your own safety. And again, this kind of situation is dangerous because if your woman is having a side a guy, what if the guy manipulate her and then use that to try to kill you to take over your wealth and all those things? So it's a lot of reason why you have to just put yourself out of that situation. It's not really because you don't want to forgive anything. I mean, you can forgive and move on. Moving on doesn't mean you didn't forgive. Doesn't necessarily mean you didn't forgive. It's just moving on to be safe for your own safety.
Maybe you did not understand what I mean by forgiveness. Forgiveness most times comes with remorse.
I'm ready if you're ready.
Remorse, please, promises, never. That's when forgiveness. You can't catch your wife sleeping with another man and you just wake up and say, "I forgive you." That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. I notice that most young people today, whenever I say young, people think I'm very old. Anyway, that's okay. I'm old in the brain. when you meet these young ones of today, you find that there are so many circumstances, situations in their marriages that they never discussed. Two of them did not sit down and say, why did you do this? What happened? What led to this? Then after that, I will not do it again. I will not. They discuss it. When something that is not supposed to be in your marriage comes into your marriage, discuss it. At the point of discussing, let the skies fall. Discuss it. And then you two of you should take a decision towards it. When you have a wife who tells you, look, bros, I cannot be doing on you. It's my life. You don't even need to forgive that one. You just walk away. I hope I'm making point here. But not when a woman finds herself in a situation where she is not even proud of what she did. She apologizes, she begged, she pleaded, she cajoled you, she did everything, and you say, I forgive you, you walk away. I'm trying to balance so that people will not misunderstand me like I'm saying forgive is when a woman does something, just say forgive from your heart and don't walk away.
It depends on people's emotional intelligence. We can't make it a rule that when one spouse cheats, the other should forgive and move on. No, it depends on how you want to handle it yourself. Now, and that's why Zita talked when she started this topic that maturity is important before you get yourself, entangled with some other person. You have to be matured in your mind to know what you're going into. She explained that. So it's very important for you to be able to know, is this going to affect me mentally? If it's going to affect you mentally, it's better to move on. That's what I believe. But if you know it's something you can sit down and discuss and have a conversation about, and you're sure that other person will not do it again, then we can continue with the marriage. So I think that is,
when you talk about mental health, I want to ask you a question because I believe you are in that line.
Yeah.
Talking about mental health, do you believe that words can kill mental situation? Words.
The
Just
words can
talking
affect
to
you
that
mentally.
person can change the person's mindset, change of environment. One or two. It doesn't necessarily mean a drug. So
yeah, I'm not even talking about drugs here.
Okay.
I'm talking about
so when
people's
you talk about
emotional. Yeah.
Okay. So when you talk about the person's mental health cannot carry it, I will not buy that. Because there are things the man can do to the woman or the woman can start doing and saying, either way, whether it's the man that is cheating or the woman that is cheating, can start doing and saying that can calm that person down.
I agree. Yeah.
Again, you said about maturity. Let me say this categorically clear. There are people in their 60s, 70s that are not yet matured.
Of course.
So when
We're
I
not talking
say
about age. It has nothing to do with age.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can I say
Rational
something?
mind.
Yahuwah,
Hey, go ahead now.
yeah, well, what really brought me in is not that this what you guys are talking about, but it's about the no blood that you people woman
Okay,
have.
go. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if you people have you people touched that already or.
Yeah, we did, but you can let us hear your own point of view. Yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting to see, and I think the two doctors so far that we have, Timba and Abati. I think I have Abati's voice a while ago. So I'm glad they are here, and that's one of the reasons I said we want to talk about this, and I'd welcome our doctors too. Well, for me, you see, one man is so mischievous with the way he has to put that picture of no blood and all of that. I don't know. It's the issue of religious objection to certain things. It's not just only limited to the people that everybody knows oftentimes as people that doesn't like to take blood, which is the Jehovah's Witnesses people. There are other religious people for some reasons. Recently in a state here in where I live here, a woman was jailed, was it this week, for not letting I think the daughter has some form of cancer, and this is not for religious reasons. Well, as far as the report says, there was no religious reason because behind it, but it's just that she just has the feeling that herbs can cure. This is a white woman. No, this is not a black person or an African. Here in one of the states where I live here, they legalize marijuana, and so what they call CBD oil and all those kind of things, that the extraction they get from those marijuana. Some people say it has some medicinal properties. Some people, if you are, is it insomnia, or you have some kind of sleeping apnea or whatever they call it. If you take that CBD or some form of it, it can put you to real deep sleep and all of that. So this girl, and some people say there's speculation that even among the medical practitioners, that marijuana can also inhibit cancer and all of that. So this lady was rather taking this child to the hospital to go seek medical care. She was just administering CBD or one of those marijuana extract given to that girl, until the cancer I think it was a liver cancer, something like that, blew out of proportion. The lady was arrested and was sentenced to jail. Well, that would be negligence, because if the child has access to child care, why not? Why don't you avail that child of rather than trying to give self-medication of some sort? So what I'm trying to say is that it's a different thing from when you're arguing that kind of points with what these people call Jehovah's Witnesses. They do not want to die, but they object to blood for some reasons, and there are many reasons behind it. I know medical field as in the Nigerian context has not really advanced, although some hospitals are gradually expanding their doctors, the skills of their doctors in operating certain kind of surgery without the use of blood. They can bypass blood. Doesn't mean that, oh, okay, they want to die. Okay, we don't take blood. Okay, can we save you another way? No, I want to die. No, that's not. Not necessarily they want to die. They would accept any form of procedure that would bypass the use of blood. And there's a reason behind that. If you ask them, they'll give you reason, which is, if you read the Bible, or the scriptures, you will see it there. It's clearly stated there. I think in one of those, is it Acts? In the Bible, you will see it there. It is stated clearly that they should have nothing to do with blood. So,
or they know, I think quote your own Bible from which place in the heart they say you should not take blood.
You say you're a doctor, and you say you've had interaction with them. Maybe you're the kind of doctors that you are so fanatic about this doctor practice that you don't want to
Simba,
see.
boyfriend mi mọ̀ jù ẹ lọ, kò jẹ́ kó sọ̀rọ̀, ó mọ̀ jù ẹ lọ. Ó ti lọ ṣe research, gbogbo research yẹn jẹ́ kó sọ.
Mi ò mọ̀ jù lọ, no, doctor.
Ó ti lọ ṣe research, Simba. Ẹni ó ní láti lọ, ó ní láti dálẹ̀ fún wa.
Ìyàwó yìí ṣé wàá yẹ kí n sọ̀rọ̀? Mo ní pẹ́ máa lọ.
Ó ní láti dálẹ̀ fún wa, Simba, ẹ ṣáà jẹ́ kó sọ tẹnu ẹ̀.
Mo ní pẹ́ lọ báyìí, because mo ní I have less than 12 minutes to just bounce now. Anyway, yeah.
Go ahead.
You see,
Rational man told us he used to be a doctor now.
Ṣe gbọ́dọ̀ báyìí. Bí o ṣe doctor. I mean, Mike, I speak on certain things. You feel maybe I'm an authority in that. I'm not authority. I read widely. So anyway, let me just leave that. So my point is this: is that Simbad, I'm so surprised that if you've spoken the way you spoke like this, when I said there's a Bible verse and you're saying no, there is not, it means that maybe your previous encounter with them, like what you were saying here last week.
I didn't say no. I didn't say no. I said it's not in art, because that was where my discussion started this one, if this you should remember. And the one that I quoted is actually Deuteronomy chapter 25 and chapter 12, verse 23.
No, Deuteronomy is different. There's a place in the book of Acts. You will see in the book of Acts.
Can you read it for us?
Right now, maybe I get it back. So I'm pressing.
So my chapter, do you know the chapter?
Let me.
Or verse.
It's okay. I'll go help you look for it. Let me continue talking, then I'll look for it. But let me continue talking. As I'm talking to you guys, I'll be looking for it. So the point I'm trying to make is that in that verse, it says they should have nothing to do with blood. I think the word that was used was something like abstain from blood. Abstain means abstinence, that in any way, in any form, you don't have anything to do with blood. I mean, Deuteronomy you quoted too is one of those Bible verses. It's there's a link to it. You see, let me not be.
But do you think that verse make any sense? How can
Well,
you
you
have
might
blood
say
in your
it
body?
makes no sense because these are during the time of when these apostles too, like all these followers of Jesus Christ, their system, they were labeled as fanatics too. Even Paul was also one of those people that was referred as fanatics. That was why they did not really they did not sit well with some of the Roman emperors. They were persecuted and all of that because of their religious stance and beliefs that is against some of those norms of that time. So it's not a surprise if these people are also viewed as fanatics. And that no, they're not fanatics. It's
They
a
were
medical
foolish.
procedure. Is that what?
I said they were foolish now.
Yeah, you can
I
say
mean,
that.
they're going around telling
That's
people
your
to have nothing
opinion.
to do with blood.
That's your opinion. You have your mouth.
No, I mean, if it was today that they were preaching, I know people would have
That is
just
what I'm
looked at
saying.
them as.
For the fact that it was then, it's a law that was given to them. If you are a Christian, that's what
Who
you should
give them
do.
law?
But let me just forget it. Let's forget it. The point is this: is that if God was the one who gave them that law, that they should abstain from it, He doesn't know. Definitely, He knows that there should be a form of way that you don't even need blood in some medical prediction. I mean, in so many, if not many, if not, even, let me say to Babati and Simba.
Okay, I've checked it for you.
Where is it? Where did you find
It's
it?
Acts chapter 15, verse 29.
Okay. All right. So what did you say? What did you say? Can you read it out for them?
No, I've.
So
Let me.
okay, if you want to read it to everybody, let's let everybody see that I'm not just quoting out of context.
No, there are several, as you said, there are several Bible verses.
Translation. Mm-hmm.
Genesis 9, chapter 9, 4 also, the Leviticus chapter 17.
I'm not here to do Bible verse. That's not what I'm here for. I'm just here to talk about it. I'm just trying to say, give you the basis for their belief that as to why they do not want to do that. Genesis is one of them. Deuteronomy you quoted, and even this verse, this Act of Apostles that you just read. I mean, you just made reference to. It's one of those verses. So they have basis for that. But what I'm trying to tell you is this: that I was saying that maybe say like 50, 60 years ago, there are some medical procedures whereby they will tell you that you only need blood for that medical procedure to be done. If not, there's no other way to bypass it. But as science advance, there are different procedures now, even machines that will aid you to go through some kind of surgery or medical procedures that even your blood will not be used. So the point is this: let me give you an example. Some culture, like you people were talking a while ago about women and men having multiple partners and all of that. In some cultures, they practice. They don't even see it as bad. But when some people look at it like, oh, why would somebody limit me? Why would some kind of law limit me to a man or just a woman for the rest of my life? Why I can have fun everywhere, here and there? But there is wisdom in that. Like Mike was saying a while ago, the wisdom is that if you jump around from one woman to another woman, or a man to another man to another man, the possibility of you getting infected is there. You see, when it comes to medical things, the Bible is very precise when it comes to that. The Bible is very precise. It's not because our advancement in science has not even really get close to the one who is behind it. I mean, the Bible claims to be inspired by a supreme person who is all and all, who knows all, who is the supreme being, who is even the creator of everything, who knows what he created. But if you not advance to that stage of this knowledge, I mean, as we proceed to live on this earth, or some people come and go, they will continue advancing in science and knowledge. So the point I'm trying to make you understand is that, but the fact that they say they will not take blood does not mean they want to die. They would accept any medical procedure that will preserve their life, but that you will use blood or carry somebody's blood and transfuse them, they will not accept it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So in places like United States here, which is more and more even advanced when it comes to medical field, and some parts of Europe, they can do. It's no longer an issue with them anymore, because with many medical practitioners, they would administer that medical procedure, no matter how expensive it is. They will pay for it, or their insurance or whatever will pay for it, and they will go through it so that they can survive, they can live their life normal. But that you will use blood on them, no, they will not accept it. So we need to understand this very clearly. Although people might say, "Oh, yeah, that's an extreme, it's an extreme view." What? It could be an extreme view to your faith, to you. But like, if the only way you say it's an extreme is that they say they want to die, they don't want to take anything. No, don't use blood, don't use any other procedure, don't use any other medical procedure. I just want to die. As long as I don't hear say they could pass me blood. Okay, that blood. Okay, I don't want to take blood. I will die. No, they're not like that. They want to live. They love life like all of us love life. So they would accept any other medical procedure. There are some people who doesn't want any medical procedure. That was why I gave you that example of that woman at the beginning. I mean, you want to run for jail now. They run for one county jail now before they can go past for final judgment or that. I mean, there's a county judge that just had to throw him into county jail recently. No, but the lady doesn't want any medical procedure for the daughter. That's just the problem. She just wants to continue administering CBD or whatever oil just to clear the child's cancer. That one a child neglect. That one a child almost like you want to kill the child. But in the case of these people I'm giving you an example, the people that says no blood doesn't mean that when they say blood, they don't want to accept it or any other form of way of preserving their life. They want to die. No.
But, rational mind, I got your point. But even with the advancement in the medical technology, there are still some cases that there's no other alternative that you can use apart from giving blood to save that life. So in such situation, what can you say to it?
Well, I won't debate you on that. I know there might be some medical field, medical procedures that might not that there's no other way except. But as far as I've seen, in this something that they say they won't take blood. For me, I mean, it's a very sensitive topic and it's a very difficult topic to even talk here at this few minutes that we have here. I think I have some like 6 minutes. Anyway, yeah. So my point is that, that's a difficult one, Simba. I don't know what to tell you on that, but it's a very difficult one. But I tell you, most of them that I've heard that have that kind of problem with having to take blood, they've been able to find another alternative medicine. They call it alternative way of doing it, whereby they will bypass the use of blood. But like you're a doctor, you know more than that, me on that field. But I don't know. I think science keep advancing. They keep finding different way of bypassing the use of blood. If that's one of the ways of operating the person so that that person can get well. But I know there are other ways. But maybe as time goes on,
let me tell you this so that maybe you take this away.
Okay.
Blood is a living cell. It's like a life on its own.
Life itself, yeah. That's what the Bible says. Yeah.
You understand? So if we cannot create living cells, then there is no alternative to blood. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just like creating another organism.
Simba, I don't think where he read all those things from, I don't think he got it. They said there are alternatives, like taking that person's blood, keeping it in the blood bank. When he needs it, they bring it out to give it to him. And some other different ones like the ICP and all those things. That is what he read. But he can't interpret it. That those are other forms that they use for this blood transfusion. It's still blood, rational mind. There's nothing that you can use on human being if you want them to live other than blood. Red blood cell, white blood cell. That guy explained it even in the beginning of this video, the beginning of this session. Plasma are all those things. Those are the things that you can use on human being.
Have you heard about some kind of drugs or some kind of chemicals? I don't know how they do it. They say in the medical field, it can increase your blood volume.
You're still talking about blood.
Okay, let me give you an example.
Talking about blood now.
Rational mind. Erythropoietin. Okay. Erythropoietin.
Okay. Can I say something?
Please come in.
So you do realize that what you're talking about is this autologous blood transfusion, like self-induced, but you can have, let's say that person has contraindications and they cannot even do that for themselves. Like let's say they have like septicemia or they have hepatic insufficiency, for instance. and they cannot for themselves. So it's not like it's guaranteed that because you can do it, it will work for you. So in such situations where you have contraindications, then what happens? And you have that faith.
Already agreed that he agreed. He agreed that there's some situation whereby you don't have any.
But in most cases where you require that much blood, it's not planned like a surgical, like surgery. In most cases, it's like it's gonna happen. In most cases that you're gonna need blood transfusion. Sometimes you don't plan this thing through, right? So we would rather go on the side of caution than try to experiment without even having your history. Like you coming out.
You know, Baba T.
Yeah.
You know, this thing also go with knowledge. Let me give you, for example, I've worked in a hospital in Ogun State, Nigeria. These people, they had an accident and this child was involved in the accident. The child bled profusely and child required blood transfusion. And the parents are Jehovah's Witness. You know, they insisted that we should give erythropoietin to this. And I told them, no, erythropoietin is not blood. Based on their own knowledge, they think that erythropoietin can replace blood as if it's a blood itself. What erythropoietin does...
Wait. At what point do you guys give transfusion? Do you go below 5 or do you below 7?
7. Anything below 7.
Or you do 7.
Or even some children can decompensate even before 7. So depending on the clinical situation.
You see, hold on. You see, this is where the problem is. What Babati just said, that's another problem that these people always have with medical. Some fanatics like Simba. I've just don't feel Simba. I don't think it's personal. I'm just being cheeky here. I mean, people who go to the extreme. You know, there are some level of what is it, blood counts or whatever they call it. You just said now. There are some people when they just eat certain level, you just say, oh no, we just have to transfuse. It's not necessary. You have to transfuse. It's not necessary.
But that's a matter of it's a matter of hospital policy for some people. Where
my goodness, who is muting me?
Nobody muted you. You can go ahead.
No, somebody's muting me. Somebody's muting me. I can see.
Nobody muted you. Odeniye.
You want to mute me? More me by
now. You mute.
Sometimes you might say rational mind.
Really? Okay. All right. So anyway, yeah. So my point is this: is that some doctors, their first reflex is that blood transfusion. When they just hit at a certain level that has not really gone beyond that level that we'll call critical, they'll just say, let us transfuse that person. That is where they always have the butt head a lot of times with doctors. So there are certain levels that it can still be manageable, that we can expand the blood volume to getting it raised up.
Okay, let me
clarify. No. Let me clarify. So you're saying that if they say 7 standard, right, and it's 6 and it's still manageable, do you know how fast you can drop if you go below that limit? Do you know the complications you can have? So why play? You don't play games with if I say 7 is the cutoff, must I wait till they get to 7 before I do something? At 7.2, I'm already what's going on. So you don't wait until it gets to that level to start taking.
So the next thing is to transfuse blood, right?
No, it doesn't work that way. No, because okay. Let me give you an example. That's one. You come now, you have a 9.8 or a 10. And within a day or two, you go down to 7. So I'm like, okay, are you bleeding from somewhere? What else is going on? Why trying to figure out what else is going on? We're gonna transfuse. We don't wait until you start bleeding or you go 6.9. Say, we must. No, it doesn't work that way in a acute care setting. So you must also put this situation into your scenario here.
One thing you people fail to understand is that even within Nigeria, they are becoming, they're getting more and more. They have more doctors that are also joining their list of doctors. Because sometimes, hold on. Sometimes, if some hospital says they want to transfuse blood, they do find doctors that can operate or that can kind of still.
You can override the policy, but is that you have your license at risk? But okay. Let's say the hospital in our own hospital, once it goes to 6, by our own medical team, if you have privileges in our own hospital, you have to transfuse. If you don't want to transfuse at 6 or 7, then you have to provide the reasons why you're overriding that, and you must do labs and give your own reasons why. Can you just say, okay, it's because of religion?
Qualified doctors.
I'm saying no. I'm saying your faith cannot be a reason to overriding the hospital policy.
I know it's a problem with many doctors, and this issue of faith that you people throw around. But the point is, well, it's just I don't
okay. Let me put it this way. Okay, 7 is there. It's 6.9, 6.7, 6.2, and I say, okay, why are you not transfusing? And you say it's because of my religious faith. That's not it's not tenable in medicine. That's not how you work. You must show me some numbers, show me some life values here. What are we working with?
I get you on that, but I'm just saying to you that if I could make that decision for myself, it's my life. You won't force me to get.
Then sign a waiver.
As an adult, as an adult,
if I have to sign
as an adult.
We are discussing the child. That's what I'm saying. We're discussing the child, not you.
Child. But then you see, the point is, it's a very difficult topic when it comes to child.
Rational man, let me tell you this about these figures. Just hold on. You are just truly, or you are just talking because of lack of knowledge. Let me tell you this. No, the number. You lack it. That is why you are talking the way you are talking. Let me tell you this.
Simba, hold on. Let him make his point.
He has been making it, the wrong woman. I want to explain certain things to him. BT, no, just hold on. BT mentioned that at what level you are saying some doctor will just transfuse anyhow. What I'm saying, this number, they are not an arbitrary numbers. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's based on scientific evidence. Before they will say, okay, at 6 you have to transfuse, at 7 you have to transfuse. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that number also, you understand? So it's not as if somebody will just sit down and say, okay, no, transfuse at 6 or transfuse at 7. No, because they believe that majority of the people at that level, they start decompensating. And the risk of organ decompensation, organ failure comes in at that level. And that's why they will say transfuse. So it's not an arbitrary number that I just say somebody just sit down and say, okay, no, I will transfuse at 6 at 7.
Simba, in an acute setting, they watch everything. Your color, everything. They watch it. As soon as they can decode that there's a problem, they start the blood transfusion. They don't have to go with the numbers. Yes. Sit down. A lot of these people are talking from experience too. On Google. Even apart from the numbers with the rules of the team and everything, they go with everything. They use their critical mind to think that is this person going? Is this? Yes. That's how they protect the
patient. Somebody comes into the hospital. Let me give you an somebody comes to the hospital and they say, oh, they have a 7 point something, and that person has a colon sign. You know what the colon sign is? They're bleeding. You now say because it's still 7, no. So I'm going to
Babati. Let me even tell you this. You can even somebody can call with 9. And you can still transfuse at 9.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You know, let me tell you, depending on where the person, if you have an acute blood loss, somebody who has been having hemoglobin of 16, and suddenly he lost about 5, that patient will not be able to cope with that 10 at that moment because it's not used to that level.
You don't wait.
So you not waiting. You won't wait until you get to 7.
Exactly.
You will not wait. So there are so many things that go, but you know, if you have unlearned people, somebody like National Mind, they will be debating that thing. I say, why did you transfuse at that thing? They won't understand the reason why.
Hold on now.
Rational Mind, let me warn you. Lucy is a nurse, so be very careful. You were saying doctor. She's a nurse.
She's a nurse. Okay.
So you know that.
She's a psychiatrist and she's a nurse and she's a
You want no more. Jealousy kill you, my boyfriend. Jealousy.
Your boyfriend, yeah.
The point is
boyfriend, yeah.
Hold on. Listen to me. Listen to me. We call it in healthcare evidence-based practice. That means we've seen this same scenario for hundreds, thousands of times, and based on the disease process, this is what you do. It's not like somebody just winging it. It's called evidence-based practice. So when they say 7 or 6, it's based on years of study and data that came to that conclusion.
Very right, my brother.
Just came out.
Very right.
Guys,
evidence-based practice.
This I'm going to end it. I'm going to end it. I'm saying to you guys that what I've seen with them is that they are now finding doctors who can use the alternative way, besides having to use what's it called? Besides having to use blood. They are finding more, even within Nigeria, they are finding more and more. So I don't think blood is a thing for them. That I mean, a lot of them are surviving without having to use blood as a means to whatever maybe. So what I'm trying to tell you is that I'm glad that
which condition? It depends on the condition that you are talking about.
I don't want to argue with you people on that, what condition or whatever condition. But what I'm trying to tell you is that so many of them with so many different kind of illness, they've been finding doctors now that can operate or do whatever with their sickness, and they will not use, and they are surviving, and the survival rate is even more than when people are transfused blood. That's how I'm going to end it.
That one is a lie.
The only time you can
I'll talk to one of my persons, and I will bring that one of their. I'll say you should give me one of their. Maybe okay. You know what? If you can leave me, give one man your email address. I mean, both of you, Simbad and Babati, because you guys are medical practitioners. I would like you people to also read some of the journals that are also medical journals that are out there. So I will send it to you. I'll send it to you so that you can read and you can.
We do. I mean, I like Simba. I read like 2 to 3 every week. You have to keep up with latest information on research.
Exactly.
But my point to you is this: that these are you plan this thing ahead of time. But I'm saying that in most cases, in an acute care setting, you don't have enough time to do that.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with you.
Surgery, you can do okay. Ahead of time, 2-3 months from now, I'm going to have this surgery. Then we can prep you. But if you're brought in for some abdominal issue or cardiac issue, nobody's thinking about autologous blood sometimes at that point. Nobody. That's not because you came to the ER. If you come to the ER, trust me, nobody's thinking about your own blood transfusion yourself, because it's not the top priority at that time. It's saving your life.
Well, it doesn't even have the blood at that moment now.
So you, like I said, you have comorbidities that you already have in your system. Maybe let's even say you are anemic at that point. Man, you are anemic. Do you want somebody that has anemia or suffering from that issue to come to the ER to not say I want my own blood only? No, it's not going to work for you at that time. So let's just look at the ER.
You can't give what you don't have. You can't give what you don't have. So
that's not mine. That's just don't listen to those. I won't. I would not recommend that, and I'm sure Simba agrees with me. I would not recommend that line of thought from.
Well, you can say that. I see eye on eye with them on certain things, even though I'm not a member.
I hope you know that they also come to the hospital to come and preach all those things. And you know that even the scientific world will not wait for Jehovah's Witness. If there's any alternative, I think everybody will embrace it.
I think
they will not.
This what you just said now just shows some kind of bias. And as a doctor, you should not be biased. You should be open-minded. You will not wait for. Let me say something to you. I've followed them for many years, and I have some of them as family members. But I must say to you that they've been able to push the medical field to do a lot of research. I'm not saying it's just basically them alone, but they've been able to push even among them, there's some of them that are big surgeons, big neurosurgeon or whatever you call them. Like the biggest one on earth here today. I mean, on this our planet, they have them who are their members. So they've been able to push the medical field to do more research into alternative ways of operating or performing surgery without having to use blood. And that is why they are coming with more and more new different techniques. That's what I'm saying. I'll give you that. If I can lay my hand on that journal, I will send it to you so that you can read. There are certain ones I don't have access to. It's only their member, their two top big members among them.
We welcome it. What we are saying.
If you're
No, just hold on.
I understand there is an acute.
Just hold on. You know, I don't know what you read primarily, but you know, if I read the medical journal and you read the medical journal, the way you will understand it will be different from the way I will understand it because you don't have the basis. You don't know the basis.
He's talking about the ICS and the PCS. So you won't understand it if you are not in the medical field.
Let me say one thing real quick.
Understand it. That's what Simba is trying
Let
to
me say one thing, touching on mind, just because I didn't want to go deep on the topic. Do you know one of the cons of autologous blood transfusion? Do you know one? I'm going to put the link there. So you know you can have fluid overload if you're pulling blood out from your system and you have some comorbidities. You can actually have a fluid overload. So just look at the complication of it. You can even have heart failure with it if you pull it too fast. Remember, the person coming into the hospital in the first place is sick. They have health challenges in the first place. Do you really want to take blood from someone that already has issues? So
guys, I have to bounce. If I wish I'd wake up and join you guys early. I just have to go.
Thank you for coming.
But woman, and Jupe, please let us bring this topic back again. If not, maybe full talk.
How many times now?
No, I still want to debate this thing with these guys. But please, two of you drop me your. Give it to. Don't you have to drop it on the comments?
Okay, I would drop my
just
email.
Give it to, and then I'll send those. I will look for that journal and I'll send it to you guys so that you guys can read and. At least not the fanatic, but I've seen by that is there. That is always like one way traffic.
Are you a member of the Jehovah's Witness sect?
I just told you that I'm not a member. At the moment, I'm not a member. At the moment, I might.
At the moment, so you want to join? You're thinking about it.
I'm not a member at the moment. That's just the answer to your question for now.
You're thinking about it.
Yeah.
If tell about him more way junior low more way juloni, ma jẹ ká gidi ran ma bínú sí.
Jẹ́ kí n gbọ́ràn obìnrin yìí, ṣé wàá jẹ́ kí n gbọ́ràn? Ṣé wàá jẹ́ kí n gbọ́ràn?
Thank you for coming, Rational Mind.
Rational Mind is a priest.
Yeah.
Rational Mind is a priest in another religious body. So
is a priest in what?
Mo ní olúwo ni ẹ́. Jẹ́ gbádùn.
Èmi ò ṣe olúwo. Àwa kò máa ń kàwé ni.
You understand. Thank you for coming though.
Well, me understand, but don't understand. I'm marrying later, I'm buying something later.
Okay, thanks so much, Rational Mind. One man, can we move to the Yabo Joe's topic before we close, just to discuss it for the next 10 minutes? If you can play us the clip. I don't think one man is here. I think he wants us to discuss about Yabo Joe and all the people fighting on internet because of Mohbad. One man, are you here? One man is not there. So I think it's just the story of Yabo Joe and Liz and Jory fighting over Yabo Joe and Tonto Dike cloud chasing because of Mohbad's case. So I think it's just like abusing them on that, saying that they should go and sit down and let the
sorry, are you ready for the clips? Did you say?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Oh, okay. The Iyabo Ojo narrative. So we'll build it up and then take their two positions, and then you come in.
Okay.
I'm here again to give you guys the tea concerning Liz Anjorin and Iyabo Ojo's fight. The fight has been going on for a very long time now, which so far I can remember, a very, very long time. And this particular one started when Liz Anjorin accused a fictional character of dating Dada. She just said the person's name, Dada. And Iyabo Ojo came out to say something on live. Let me read to you guys what she said. So Iyabo Ojo was like, I want you to help me tag Liz Anjorin. This is not a show for her. This is me daring her. I hardly watch all the videos that she has done, but I have seen clips of accusations. Help me tag her and tell her that I said Shekpeteri is actually a state. A state in a village, a place in Nigeria, that it is not my name. Whatever name she has given me, I would appreciate it. if she wants to make allegations, she should be bold enough to mention my name. My name is Alice Yabojo. So, Liz Anjorin, your allegations of saying I was involved in Mubat's death, all your allegations that you have brought forth, everything that you have said about my children, all your allegations that you have said about my man, I have seen them. But the only issue is that you are not mentioning my name. So I'm daring you. I'm mentioning your name first. So Lizzie Anjorin, kindly mention my name, she said in part.
Anjorin Odejo, ọ̀rẹ́ mi àtijọ́ òkú àṣọrẹ́.
Is that all, woman? Woman. I'm not sure if that's all. Woman.
Ìyábọ̀, wọ́n ní mò ń bá wí sẹ́.
Okay.
Wọ́n ní wọ́n ní discover sẹ́. Ìyábọ̀, wọ́n ní mò ń bá wí sẹ́. Wọ́n lọ ṣe threesome pẹ̀lú ọmọ rẹ̀. Jọ nítorí Ọlọ́run dárúkọ mi bẹ́ẹ̀. Àbó ló fẹ́ ṣe anyone dárúkọ mo fọ́lọ́run bẹ́ẹ̀. Ìyábọ̀ wọn ló ń fẹ́ náírà. Wọ́n ní náírà dé jọ dárúkọ mi jọ Odejo náà Odejo náà. Liz Anjorin Odejo, ọ̀rẹ́ mi àtijọ́ òkú àṣọrẹ́ rí náà, but ọ̀rẹ́ mi náà ni máa pè é. Odejo, ṣàánú mi dárúkọ mi náà. Gbogbo tó kàn ṣe stroke, kàn ṣe wé kọ́kọ́ ṣe. Ọkọ̀ ṣe ẹ̀kọ́ fún ẹ wá là. I don't like it. I don't like it, girl. Please. Dárúkọ mi. Kó jẹ́ ká get it started. My darling, every mi ò wó tán, but mo ń save. I need to make a case out of you, Bob. You're baddie, I'm a baddie, right? So mention my name. You can see, like, how many minutes gone now? Join by me target. About me target. Cool, show you. Join by me target. It's on glasses making comments. Eshel, cyber anything plug. I see you, my darling sister. Boss lady Dorcas, need láti ṣe analysis kankan mọ́, my darling sister. Kò bá mi bẹ̀.
Dupsy, we played the third one, which is the Anjorin tape.
Okay.
And then you can pick it up from there.
Okay.
Ẹ̀rù ń bà wá o, àwọn ò fẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ station, àfẹ́rọ̀ kóòtù, owó táwa pa gold làwa mọ̀ fi rà, gold nìkan, gold àtàṣọ, àwọn aṣọ tó jiná, tẹ bá ráṣọ tí mo wọ̀ yìí, tẹ bá rí real life, ẹni tó ní eye problem tó bá wò báyìí, ojú ẹni ẹ máa ṣe pàwọ́ ni. Àwa ẹ̀rù máa ń bà wá, àwa bẹ̀rù kóòtù àti court case o. Ọlọ́mọ ẹ̀ kó lúwẹ̀ kó fọkọ sílé kó lọ sùn ẹ̀wọ̀n. Ṣẹ́pẹ́tẹ́rì àwa ò tó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Àwa ò ní dárúkọ ẹ̀ wá ẹlẹ́dàá mi ò ní jẹ́. Mi ò lè dárúkọ ẹ̀ o. Kọ́tẹ̀yàn wá wà ní sẹ́ẹ̀lì kó lọ míìsì okú ọkọ ẹ̀. Kó lọ míìsì okú ọkọ ẹ̀ irọ́ o. Kó lọ á lọ máa rántí dọ́gì nínú sẹ́ẹ̀lì. Mo kọ́. Kákúnlẹ̀ fáràrà kò ní ká má débi tí èèyàn máa dé. Wọ́n ò sọ fún ẹ̀ ṣẹpẹtẹ èmi tí mo gbọ́n. Èmi tí mo bẹ̀rù kóòtù, mo bẹ̀rù police station. Àmọ́ wọ thank you for mentioning my name. Ẹ̀wọ̀n ni wọ́n gbọ́n máa kú sí báyìí. Ìwọ ṣọ́ràdúrà tó ń gbà pé kémi dárúkọ ẹ̀. Ṣọ́ràdúrà tó ń gbà yẹn Àdàbí Promax jẹ́ kó dáhùn lórí ẹ̀. Thank you for mentioning my name. O ṣé mo dúpẹ́. O ṣé gan-an ní ṣẹpẹtẹ yìí.
All right, Dupsy. So that sort of shapes it. It's not where we go to traditionally, but show business gossip sort of thing.
Exactly. I am not even interested at all because these girls, I like Yabo's teacher and her shape. Let me say the truth. I like her shape, she's sexy, and I like her teeth. So, but I don't subscribe to you coming online all the time to constituting all this kind of bullshit and saying all sort of things, constituting nuisance, because she's more than that. But this other girl now, I don't really know much about her. This Lizzie, I don't really know because I don't think she acts like that. Probably she does.
No.
Yeah.
She almost, they are in the same category in
Acting, right?
Nigerian Nollywood, especially
Yeah.
Yoruba Nollywood.
Okay, because I don't
So
really
they are
see
just
this.
like rival. This their
Okay.
fight has been on for years.
Okay, now.
And I'm beginning to doubt the sincerity of this. I think they might even be using it to make money. You know, all these social debts that people are now using to make money in social media these days. They will just throw out some banters, and then their followers will join them, and then they will be commanding a lot of traffic, and they make a lot of money from it. Because if you look at what they are fighting over now, what is the meat of all this video that we watch now? Can you really bring out any tangible reason why they should be fighting? None. But you know, to me, they just use all these things on the social media to make money from it. We will watch it, we are discussing it, but they are cashing out. So
I agree with you.
that's just it.
Because I don't usually see this girl in movies. That's why I said I see Yabo a lot. I don't see her, so I didn't realize.
She's not acting much these days, but she was actually very active some years back.
Okay.
She's into some kind of business now. She sells clothes, gold, and all those
That's what I'm saying. I say she's into
things.
business. So that's why I said I don't think she's really acting in Nollywood movies. So I don't know. That's about it. I think Yabo should be a little
If
bit
you
more.
remember, there is this lady also. What's the name of this Igbo girl? That was abusing the Edo women recently. I'm forgetting her name. She was abusing the Edo women, calling them prostitutes and all those things. If you see the number
One of
of
the Nollywood one of the Nollywood actors, you mean? I don't know.
she's not really a Nollywood. It's one of these social media people in ladies in Nigeria. But hey, blessing. They call him Blessing CEO. Blessing CEO.
I think I know that girl too. Yes.
She also like controversy. She like a lot of controversy. She will just generate one controversy, and then generate traffic. Thousands, millions of people will get involved, and he will be shouting on the social media. Everybody will be shouting. Everybody will be joining, and he will be cashing out. And it's just that's what they do.
It's just to
That's
create
what they
content,
do.
right? Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
fine. If that's what they're doing, they don't make
People will come home. Okay, you can go ahead, Ola.
No, I was just going to say, you know how Yabo Ojo entered the fight. You know, saying Tony, this is Aima Kwabi is by Abraham or what?
Tony Abraham now. Tony Abraham.
So you know, say now she and Lisa Anjorin,
Lizzie and Johnny started. They are the one that started the fight. Yes, before she carried the thing on her head.
Simba and Ola, it's amazing and also disturbing how much you two know about these sort of things. I thought you were too highbrow for this sort of what's going on?
Waiting one man day.
Especially Simba. I don't understand.
No, now see, we already watch. Let me say this thing. I'm a core fan of Yabo Ojo. Even though I don't like some of our distant boss, I'm a fan. So, but then, you know, somehow now you go there tired and just want to listen to waiting they share on this thing now. Not be every time you go they too serious. Sometimes you just want short thing just to, just to entertain yourself. So this guy Tony and Lizzie, they were fighting, and so Yabo put mouth. That's all the thing deal. So, but I will not erase the fact that these guys, they are there for money making. But then that's why that if you don't want these people to drag you, no, just carry your matter, enter YouTube. You know you have career to protect, except you want to become maybe a Nollywood actor or let's say artist. Then enter, join the matter, then go make money on top of you. Even as you enter so now, as the Dupsy they enter so now, if you enter too much, trust me, then go enter you well. And before you know, you go to see
But
1,000
at
people
one
on their
our job word, same thing. If not because of woman, I never talk about them in public. So me at
then
one
go
job
that
word, I just want no category. We should get
then
size
go.
now. They're not good, they know they look face. What
No,
won't
you
do
you
with
know
that one?
you still be
They know
gentle
they look
person
face.
for you see you still
Oh,
be
tell me
gentle
at you,
person.
come
You see have your identity to protect. You've invested so much in now you are a corporate person. But these guys, this is their bread and butter. They come and drag. And when you include the people like Iya Support, join among them, everywhere don't learn not be that. So to me, is their
Ola, if you look at it, if you look at Iyabo, Iyabo is look. I'm just looking at her. She's becoming a troublemaker. If you remember the issue of when this Baba Jesha issue came up that day, she was the one that carried everything on her head. She carried everything on her head. See Mohbad issue also.
But with Baba Jesha case, she fought a good fight then. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If she
I
wants to
know
fight,
that was what Lizzie is referring to, that she doesn't like
okay.
police,
I think it's about
all
Mohbad
this.
though. I don't think it's about Baba Jesha. I think it's about Mohbad because they're still
No, I'm just giving you
the
the
fight started
story. You understand
2019.
what I'm saying?
The fight started 2019. I think Yabo entered the state 2021. So far from Mohbad. See, the
No,
thing
I
is
think because they mentioned Naira Marley, if you heard them in this video. They
no,
mentioned
No, we are talking. We are telling you, Dusi, that the fight between Liz Anjorin and Yabo Ojo does not start today.
Okay.
It's not about Mohbad. Even before Baba Jesha, even before the issue of Baba Jesha came up, they've been having, and sometimes I don't know, maybe they can fight over boyfriend, man friend, and so many things that can make them cross one another. So it's just like that. And then if you look at the two of them, generally, though Yabo is still more active in acting, but two of them are not really doing well in acting these days. They are just catching cruise on social media. That's all they are doing.
you see something around that Baba Jesha and those things you said about, like Dupsy said, Yabo fought a good fight, but there's this trend within the Nigerian entertainment or social sector that if it's not tamed now, it's going to become a serious weapon of blackmail in the future. Is that everybody now run non-governmental organization and they find ways. I'm not accusing anybody in particular here because I don't feel allow anybody to drag me. So the thing is, when they are doing things like that, they put themselves forward for some kind of non-governmental organization and they find a way of accessing foreign aid, because that's where government need to be sensitive now. These people, they can just come online now and just go dig something about Simba and say, oh, we used to know that man, when he used to work for hospital, when others were shaking 10 naira, Simba was charging 1,000. You go to say a small matter, then go drag everything and go find a way just to model everything up and create some kind of audience for themselves. And the next thing is they keep making money on top of you. Although along the line, some of them enter trouble, real trouble, because when you messed up with the wrong person, they won't even argue with you. They take you to court and deal with you. So, but in all this thing that is going on, that you and Dupsy have rightly said, motivation behind that is just for money. It's only for money, nothing. and that's what they can create. Everybody cannot be Brother Shaggy, and everybody cannot be macaroni. So you only offer what you have. So all those photo, and we too like Beboro now, and we too like all this Shutaposi style. We just
I
like
would say
the
controversy. That's what people like now.
Islam
Anything controversy.
like this Mubad thing now. You would think they love Mubad. No, they don't love Mubad. Mubad
You know, if
just
if you look at it, Mubad is even died down now. It's now Igbo. It's Igbo story now that is trending.
so just look at that. Don't just you see one thing is this: when you just have your white, don't work out where they do. They no send you except you have money for legal tussle. So if anybody messes around you, take the person to court. Don't even argue. But once someone start attacking you online and you are following them, I will see that you are there for money. That's the way I see you. Because otherwise, most of these cases is what they should have resolved in the court. Because even no matter what, Yabo Joe talk to you, take out to court. Now, why are you responding? If not because of money. So we are in different world entirely, and sometimes we enjoy them. Sometimes I don't enjoy them because people are learning some bad things from them, which is not good enough, in my opinion.
Okay. Can I just say something? No mean to digress. One man, I hope you're there.
Yeah, we're listening.
It's heartbreaking what's happening in my hometown. The collapse or the impending collapse of the Adire industry in Egbaland that we've been dominating for years is now being controlled by the Chinese, and it's a space that's largely controlled by women. So you'll be buying your Adire from China now, and it's sad that those markets might fold up very soon if something is not done. And the KBC has called a meeting of the stakeholders to figure out a way to prevent this calamity, because I cannot imagine Abeokuta without an Adire market. It's okay, that's it.
Guys, let's bring the show to an end. I have to go and do loads of things. Thanks so much, guys, for coming. Where is one man? Can you just bring up the super chat so that we can thank the people that gave us super chat today? Team Magic, thank you so much, brother, for coming. Thank you for supporting us this morning. The next person is who? Ayo, brother Miolowo. Thank you always for coming to support Woman's Show. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Mr. Alexandra Gomez, thank you so much, sir. The chairman of the platform, we thank you for always coming to support. Thank you so much, sir. To the people at the comment section, my darling Chioma, Mr. Triumph, EK, and all others, I say thank you so much for coming to support us this morning. I really appreciate you guys. God bless you all. And to my co-panelists, Simba, Ola, Mike, my darling brother, Rational Mind, and my darling Zita. I say thank you to you guys for always coming to show up. And Baba T, sorry, Baba T, I can't forget you. Thank you so much, Baba T, for coming. We really appreciate your contribution, especially to the blood transfusion, you and Simba. I appreciate both of you. Thank you so much for always coming through for Dupsy Baby. Thank you. So I would say thank you to one man, my boss, for always giving me this opportunity. I appreciate you so much, one man. Thank you so much. Chairman, I love you so much, my darling. God bless you. Okay, we'll see you guys again next Sunday. Make sure you tune in for another show. I'm sure we're going to enjoy it. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your day. God bless.